Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, Week 12, spread picks, preview, super locks, free money teasers, injury report. We got it all for you, plus a Cust Corner mini halfway through the show. Always, if you want to skip to a particular game instead of watching the entire great show, what's wrong with you if that's the case? But hey, just use the time codes. They're always there. People did tell me last week that they could not download the show because I uploaded the wrong file. I then had to go back in time and then figure it out from there. So eventually people were able to listen to it. But I received over 250 messages of people telling me that they couldn't hear the show. So if you're able to take the time out of your day to tweet at me to tell you the show wasn't uploaded right, you have plenty of fucking time to go review the show and get into the draw this week. Normally, it's a $20 draw. This week for the audio, it's a $50 draw. Please go review the show. Subscribe to the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, which you probably already do if you were freaking out about the fucking file. Then leave a 5-star review, DraftKings handle, something you like about the show, and you will be in a draw for 50 DK dollars. Like I said, it takes less time than to tweet at me about the show not being up, by the way. So please go do that. It is the best currency of the show. Help us out over here. Now, if you want to be in the measly draw for 20 DK dollars, smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me your favorite spread or total of week 12. Geoff Fienberg, did you know that you can also find the link to the Pat Mayo Experience DraftKings Open in the description of this video or podcast?
I certainly did.
Play in it. I mean, you won't, but other people can play in it.
I sometimes might.
Yeah, I mean, it's busy on Sundays for you, I would imagine.
Football is, I don't know. I don't like the DraftKings football as much as I'm into.
Oh, Paul making bad switches over there? Keep going now. Keep going.
I don't know. I thought I did. Usually it's because I did something wrong.
No, it's nothing
or
you
I
did
totally
wrong.
moved
No, this is all
out
staying
of
in.
where we were framed.
This is all staying in. I'm just going to throw like a bleep in where it was messed up a little bit. And then we don't want to reveal what happened.
Oh.
You don't even know what happened. So it's
exactly, because I wasn't looking at the camera.
Exactly. You were looking at me. You weren't looking at the TV.
Okay.
Hot start to the show.
Yeah, no. I'm powering through. I'm not going to lie. I had a breakdown last night. Like my dog died, and a couple times today. You might see it in my face, and hopefully it won't happen on camera because I don't want to live on the internet forever. I already am.
You already live on the internet forever.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess we both went with the lavender, the floral, and I guess it's brightening my mood.
All right,
a
so
little.
That's good to know. I want to introduce the third member of the team, the Coin. Bad pick so far this year, especially when we get to the recap. Fourth member of the team behind the camera, at Paul Shag on Twitter, resident Bills fan, Paul Shaughnessy. And then also, as a part of the show, the fifth member of the team, if you don't count the equipment, it is Tim Cust.
Tim Cust.
It's not my name.
You're part of the team, though.
I will stand by. It's the fifth member, like in the prestigious final guy in the.
I mean, that's why
TV
you're not.
drama.
That's not why you are not the executive producer of the show.
Okay, maybe.
That's me.
That's because you don't not watch enough network TV.
Like
to
the
know
guy who played.
Last spot has got second billing.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like
I like that. This is how you're working it backwards.
No, but you watch Cheers. Ted Danson comes first, but George Wendt comes last. In Seinfeld, Jerry comes first. Jason Alexander comes last. You get second billing when you come last.
It's like Brandon and Brenda Walsh's dad in 90210 came last. Jim Walsh.
He was the.
But he wasn't the number
second
two
lead
on
of the show, was he?
No.
I feel like this is more of a cable show anyway than a network type of show. So you're telling me
it's true that you're right. Then in that sense,
you're telling me like Christopher from The Sopranos is coming last?
No, it's probably like AJ.
comes last on Entourage.
Yeah, because he's not one of the leads of the show.
You know what? That's not true. It really isn't.
It'd be like saying like, oh, Creed comes last on The Office. He's the second most important member of the show.
Well, maybe it's like starring Pat and Geoff featuring Tim.
No, it stars Pat Mayo. It just stars Pat Mayo.
Fair
the rest of you don't even make the credits.
Sometimes.
Created, starring Pat Mayo.
I like it.
Executive producer, Pat Mayo. The rest of you, it's just out there.
Okay.
All right. So last week, to recap, 7-6 for me, 7-6 for Geoff, 7-6 for Tim, 5-8 for the coin, bringing the records of the year. I retain my 1-game lead over Geoff, 81-77. You are 80-78. Tim is 76-82. The coin, last year's champion, 68-92 for the season. You and I both lost our Superlocks, Geoff. Tim won his with the Jumbo Jets. He's now 5-5. You are 5-4. I am 4-6. You have 2 pushes. I have a push. Tim's free money teaser, his 6-leg free money teaser, lost 3 of the games on it. So he is 1-10 for the year. However, you guys made a bunch of bets with each other. Now, I believe the money was pushed.
We keep making bets and we keep pushing on bets, but I was I wasn't going to allow the colas to get pushed because I have no problem drinking a Diet Cola.
So let's see it. You have to drink you have to drink a
care.
DC, a Diet Coke.
I'll drink it happily through the show. Is it my preferred cola? No, I prefer a Diet Pepsi, so I'm a little jealous of Tim. But I don't I'm not angry.
There we go. Some
Yeah, that
DC,
was
get it
awesome.
in you.
I feel like Francesa.
I mean, you can pull off a Francesa. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, so that means Tim has to pay off his bet by drinking a DP. Tim getting DP'd over there. So, Tim, let's see it. Oh, there's Tim. I like your 90-year-old man recliner. You have Fraser's dad's recliner.
It's exactly as the audience probably pictured it, right? His setup.
There we go. That's
Vile.
Is he?
It's so sweet and citrusy. Oh, I don't know how a person could drink this stuff.
You have to drink the whole can too.
Oh, I'm going.
Is he drinking a mini can or is
Yeah, that's a mini-
enormous?
So I can
Or are his
drink
hands enormous?
both. I'm like Andre the Giant with that can of Molson.
It feels like
Oh, it's awful. This is worse than that time you sent me those. Oh, we'll talk about that later. You sent me those stupid Oreos. Oh,
If people didn't know, Tim lives in a log cabin.
on the lake.
Yeah, on the lake. Although he doesn't go outside for his frozen fishing during the
Very man
I'm
of the
disabling
people.
my camera now.
Okay, you're back to just being the man who lives inside the TV, as Cam thinks.
I needed that laugh.
You needed that laugh?
I needed it.
So,
My log cabin has seen things.
so Tim, you and I were both 5 and 6 going into the primetime slate in week 12, but we got both the primetime games right. Right Sunday night, right Monday night. You know who wasn't right on Monday night? Geoff Fienberg.
I was wrong on both primetime games.
The Chargers couldn't cover. It got up to 6 by kickoff. Couldn't even cover that. You know what Philip did cover? Over 3.5 picks.
I'm not doing this now. I'm not doing this right now.
If you don't do it now, we're not doing it. Because it doesn't fit into the rest of the show.
You can make time for him to talk about a cookie. I can have time.
No,
later
that
in
is
the
a
show.
special segment on the show.
Please don't make me do it.
You walked in here and told me your dog died, and we thought you were serious.
The week the Jets were on Monday night, he made me go first on a Monday night game.
Are they going to rally for the playoffs?
No.
Tim's been using the playoff machine and keeps getting the Jets in, so why
Okay,
can't he get
now
the Chargers in?
no, stop that. He's an idiot.
No, I'm not. Is it Tyrod time?
Jeff was calling for Tyrod time last night in the Monday night game.
That we all say things in moments of tremendous excitement that we
Okay,
don't
you're
mean.
actually. I'm upset with you that you're making me do this right now. I guess I'll just quickly start there. In the concept of having no offensive line and how well we could probably just run the ball, I thought for that game, in that moment, Tyrod, we would have won. And we wildcatted them the whole night. That's all I kind of meant there.
Okay.
I don't really think Tyrod is better, but if you have your left tackle, your right tackle, your center, and your left guard out, what's going to happen? I mean, if we brought up that scenario in August, talking about what would the Chargers be if that is happening, you would probably say exactly what has happened.
Yes.
So there's that. But I mean it. For people who are able to use the we when talking about their teams,
Which should be nobody, by the way.
no, that you're wrong.
No, I'm completely
You are
right
wrong.
on that.
You're wrong.
It makes you seem sad.
I am
No, it
sad.
Well, I get that you're sad right now because the team you like lost.
No,
but like using we is a very sad thing
I
to
need
do.
to just, well, I'll get there. But my feelings today have nothing about the loss. If you sort of followed, even talking about the game last week, my tweets before the game yesterday, I wasn't expecting to win the game. It's far deeper than that. And the we thing, no, you are wrong.
No, I'm right.
And people, I'll
He's
be
wrong.
there long. The guy that's never missed a game, I'll still be there when he's gone.
Not on the team.
You could,
If you were the
think what you
mascot,
want.
maybe. And maybe they
No.
will do that.
Jeff has been a fan for longer than any of those players have been a part of the
Who
team.
cares? You're not on the fucking
Long
team.
after.
no.
It just makes you sound pathetic.
Then
No,
I
it
am
makes
pathetic.
it sound
I'll own
normal.
that. I don't care. And I don't want to be normal. So fuck that anyway. Normal's for losers. And trying to be it is for losers. Now, understand what I'm about to say is probably, I feel this. How do I put this part? I feel how I feel maybe because of, I just have a privilege that I don't have real worries. So I'm allowed to worry about these things.
Okay.
You right? I don't know. That's just the reality. My reality.
You're like Othello. You love not wisely, but too well.
No, I just mean like whatever. I don't need to say. I just said what I said. It's just so like
Life is good. This is what you worry about.
when I tell you my biggest regret in life is not golfing at like 8 years old when I had access to it, so I could be like a good golfer instead of starting when I was like 25 because I realized I had access to it and this is like a fun thing to do. That I don't know. Real problems have gone over me, and I've had cancer. And it didn't shake me like yesterday. My dog died. And anyone that's I've had real dogs, so I know the feeling. Dogs of 12, 14 years, dead. That's what last night was for me. Not because they lost the game.
I had a cat,
Fuck
and my
cats.
mom's
Hate cats.
ex-boyfriend
Hate
came
cats.
by and ran him over.
Hate cats.
True story.
I love cats. I'm 100% a cat person.
No.
Cats have personality.
In Anchorman, did they like
Cats-
punt a cat or a dog off the bridge? What was it again?
Oh, if we ran a poll, do you like dogs or cats better? Dogs are going to win.
I
just
hate
prefer
cats. I hate cats.
No, I'm hashtag team cat all the way.
So after the pretty much, yeah, I broke down last night because what I've believed forever is no longer like possible. That he's the best person on this day to lead me. And like Mel Gibson in Braveheart, I was right beside, like I felt like, and you could say I'm pathetic, but every fucking game I was ready to run into the wall with him.
Remember how Braveheart ended?
Unless you had, I don't know, I never actually saw the movie. I just know the clip of the charge.
Braveheart doesn't win.
And neither did I.
He gets beheaded.
And it sounds about right.
Geez, spoiler alert, Tim.
It sounds
sorry.
about right. Yeah. And unless you had one of 4 or 5 guys in this league, you can like fuck off. You can fuck off.
People throwing dirt on
Because everything,
Philip's career now, by the way.
it's insane. That I have everything to say, and that's insane. That's insane. No, that's not fair, and that's insane. Based on the line and everything, and he is feeling ghosts. He's not seeing them. He's clearly feeling them, even when the pressure isn't there.
Would you say that he's touched by
This
an angel?
this ain't no Jay Cutler bullshit.
Jay Cutler rules. So you back off on Jay Cutler.
No, yes, the second degree of Jay Cutler, I am with you. But this ain't no like I will run into that front line on that front line with him every Sunday, and I just don't know anymore. And it's a weird feeling. It's such a weird feeling. It's his fault and my heart hurts. That's as maybe as best as I could put it. I don't know. But unless you had one of those like 4 or 5 guys, you can fuck off. Because there were MVP seasons in there. Caliber seasons.
Not
There was
this
a
one,
level-
though,
no.
as predicted by Tim.
Well, as Chairman
Hold on,
Mayo
you
said,
don't get to
always
talk
get
yet.
justice
You don't
before
get to
justice.
talk yet. You don't get to talk yet. I'm not letting you throw your Shakespeare on me yet. And it's not Patriot fan or Packer fan who's like talking to me. It's like Dolphin fan and Lion fan who like wishes they had what I had. Like, didn't miss a fucking start. Didn't miss it. And I'm not jealous of anybody unless you're 4 or 5 people. I'm not. I'm jealous of Eli's rings. I ain't jealous of him. And I wish maybe sometimes I had a playoff game or 2 like his. But we're not going to Geno Smith this fucking thing right now. We're not going to no. Philip gets to play the games. He gets to play the games. He's healthy.
Well, there's no one there. It's not like putting in Tyrod accomplishes anything.
Other than the fact that there's no line and
Sure.
you could like call plays that work.
I guess so, but it's not like in the...
But I agree. There's nowhere to go. But I don't even know what did they... Was it Geno for Eli? I forget. Who was it?
I believe it was Geno for a game before they brought Eli back in.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. Like, Philip is healthy. He has the street... Like, he's got to go out
Did you know, Tim once told me that Geno Smith might be a top 5 quarterback in the league?
Yeah, well, I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, so take that with a grain of salt.
I like there wasn't even a deny of that.
But the question is not what's 2019. The question is in 2020, what does number 17 do and where does he play? And I think
I get to dictate where this fucking conversation goes. What's next?
Would you like to get into the games?
No. I just briefly got to do something. I think, first of all, if he wanted to be coach, I'd let him fucking be coach. I don't think he needs that. I think he might rather coach Gunner in high school. I think if he... it sucks that the contract is up because I wish there was still one more year on it. And I don't know now what happens. I don't know what sort of contract he's worth. I don't know what sort of contract someone else in the league would give him. I don't think he wants to retire. And I don't know if it would be fair to him or it would be insulting to just offer him a 1-year deal.
XFL?
Stop. Because I'm not like going to fall into a joke trap. I'm just going to stay straight. So I don't know. Like, what do you think?
They'll probably be back with the Chargers.
Okay, I would like that.
Draft your quarterback of the future somewhere.
If
Trade
they
up.
don't get
Trade
right
for
now,
Sam Darnold once they take a better quarterback.
I love Sam Darnold.
You don't.
who
want Sam
wouldn't?
Darnold.
Sam is one of
No,
those 5.
I would. Now, there's a quarterback I like, but I'm not putting his name out there.
I like that he just got muted.
I'm not putting his name out there. And it's not like the top 2 of the class, but I'm not putting his name out there because I don't want to then deal with me having put me verbalizing his name to the world. I just mean like I don't want to do like the act like Tim did.
That's fair. That's a very fair because you will look ridiculous if you do
Yeah.
that. I really want this guy, but now I don't have him. He sucks.
I don't want to. Yeah, that's like there's a guy I want, and draft season hasn't started.
You can tell us who it is.
No, I don't.
Is it the LSU guy, number 1?
Well, I would like him, but I'm trying to be realistic. I don't know if we could get there. No, I'm not. I'm not doing.
It's not that you don't want a Notre Dame quarterback.
No, the name hasn't been
the guy who cheats on math
said.
tests.
So I'm curious. I would like Philip to come back, but now it's about maybe getting the last place schedule and getting that draft pick as high as possible.
Paul?
You guys, here's what you should do. Well, besides moving to London, you guys should draft Tua because he's hurt. Sign Phil to another year. Let Phil, train the future. That's the move.
See, that Tua
because he got hurt. He's going to drop down to like 12 or so.
He's got a great plan.
Yeah, but Tua has the same hip as my grandma now.
That could be a problem. I see Tua like going to the Patriots.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Off a bad medical report, he'll fall like 10 more spots than like where he fell from today. But that's a great scenario. Love that scenario.
Can you handle Rivers being on a different team? Like if he's the Titans quarterback next year.
Not the Titans!
Les Titans. He could be Philippe Rivers.
But does
For
that
les
make sense
Titans.
for them?
I don't know. They don't have a quarterback.
And they do have a good line that could like keep him upright.
Yeah, strong running game.
And it
good
is the
offensive line.
closest location team to Decatur, Alabama in the NFL.
Is that true?
Yeah.
More so than like
Closer than
Charlotte?
New Orleans? I mean, I guess the Saints aren't an option, but I'd imagine.
Okay, sorry, you may be right. Maybe that's sort of been a rumor a couple times. Remember the Phil from Mariota pre-draft trade because of its
Tampa's going to
proximity.
be closer too. Now that I think about it,
Say Tampa?
yeah, Tampa's pretty close to Alabama too. Like Florida and Alabama border each other, so that's.
I don't know. I guess
Yeah, but
we're talking all SEC country, so it's all
Tampa's a
pretty,
bit south,
pretty
though. It's not
close.
like on
But
the.
Tampa may be looking for a new quarterback.
Anyways, I don't know. See, with Phillip, it's interesting because there's so many kids and like the uprooting. Gunner's like a star quarterback.
Don't act like the guy doesn't have $200 million that actually matters. It doesn't.
Faith, family, and football. That's like it. There was not a nightclub. There was not like anything.
Maybe he could have used some of that stuff.
Maybe there were times, but they had
Instead-
losers like fucking Vincent Jackson, like beating people up at nightclubs the night before playoff games. So we got our nightclubs in. God
Now he
damn it.
begins the house hunt.
I don't know.
He could be on House Hunters.
Now, do you want to know my honest opinion and what I kind of pray for? Even though I do wish he could maybe be in the organization after the fact at some point.
Patriots quarterback.
No, you guys would be so lucky to see what I see. If he wanted to do, he would be fantastic at Monday Night Football. If
Sure.
I got to see him, you have no idea what I see. I couldn't watch yesterday's. I saw some quotes and some short snippets. He's so truthful. I love him so much because when there are mistakes, he hurts as I hurt. Like there's a symmetry there. He loves it so much. He hurts with every mistake. It ain't no Jay Cutler bullshit.
Jay Cutler just have a sig. And he's like, Jay Cutler's just like me.
My
Something
point
goes
being is,
wrong, goes outside, has a sig, forgets about it.
I wish people could see the 3 podium sessions a week, the Sunday after a game, the Monday, and the late week one, and just see him talk about the game.
They could
No,
watch those.
But
They
no
just
one,
don't care.
no one cares. No one's like watching. It's not like in their orbit or even in their feed, and it shouldn't be. But you probably see your favorite quarterbacks go up there saying nothing.
I mean, I just see photos of
I'm
Cam.
not
That's
talking.
all I'm concerned about.
Listen. This segment is for the pathetics that say we. They're not for the people like you.
We are the fans who say we.
That's what this is about. That's who I was talking to. And then that means like, it's not like dad could say he's going to the general store and never come back. I'd see him on Mondays.
Oh, so it'd be like my dad.
Yeah, like the every other weekend Sunday night dinner, like my divorced buddies. Yeah.
Yeah. I go spend every second Saturday with my dad. Yeah.
Go out for dinner every second Sunday. That was essentially dad. That's sort of what it might be. And I'm sorry if that was a long time.
I would like to
but
see him.
it's
I would
real.
love to see him on Monday Night Football because Booger legitimately doesn't know what words mean.
Okay, yeah, and I'm not even saying this because like he would be better than what's there.
Well, he would.
I'm telling you, he would be amazing. Amazing.
I can see it.
I can see it too. They need another play-by-play.
And I think like again, like I don't think he wants to leave the game, and I don't think like the coaching thing and with all the kids, like it's an amazing schedule, right? You could do that job.
Yeah,
It's like a king's job.
it's a job for kings. Then he'll get gout.
That is sort of my opinion. God damn it! He if he was a Dallas Cowboy, it'd be offered the job would already be offered to him.
Well, they did give.
Have a sip of Diet Coke and calm down, Geoff.
No, sorry, I don't know. I've been good. I'm happy I didn't cry because I haven't.
It's very strong of you not to cry.
No, and I can
You're a
be a
hero.
crier.
You will well enough.
I lost it a couple times. From my perspective, to wake up in a world where I don't think he's the best man for me. And you could say there were always better players, but like who could we have gotten?
I don't know.
per se?
I worry every day when I wake up that my wife thinks the exact same thing that you just said, but about me. That's my biggest fear.
That was refreshing, wasn't it?
It felt fucking good. I'm not
Thank
gonna
you.
lie. But I don't hate it. It's just not my preferred. That's like telling me,
This stuff is vile over here. Let's just let you know.
like, I'm just saying, I don't know, what's my like favorite chocolate bar, okay? And then if you said have like my third favorite chocolate bar,
You'd be okay with that.
I'm happy. Okay.
You'd be like, we can't go to McDonald's. We have to go to Wendy's. It's like, yeah, it's like a push.
Sounds
Rather than-
like a great
Here's the
idea.
cherry blossoms are good to go.
Oh, cherry blossoms.
So now, as like 90% of the show is just fast track to this point here, let's start the show.
All right, let's start the show. Thursday night, Indianapolis at Houston. Houston coming off a shea-lacking, ruining Tim's teaser. -4, they are a favorite. They were +4 last week. 45.5 is the over-under. It was at 3.5. Money got juiced up on Houston to -4 at this point. Indy's dealing with a slew of injuries here. Not sure who's going to play. Mack is out. It looks like Mack is out for sure. Hilton, Pally, Gamble, and Eric Ebron are all now game-time decisions. Jordan Wilkins is a game-time decision. The only game-time decision on the other side of the ball is Will Fuller, who, it doesn't really matter if he plays or not. Oh, see, now you're crying.
Fuck off.
Take the camera off here, man.
Thursday night is always tricky in this circumstance, but I think that it's strange. Like, because of a good defensive line and a good offensive line for the Colts, I feel like they can keep these games close. And it's not like they were going to run all over Houston anyway. They were going to have to pass. Having Hilton is probably, not having Hilton is obviously a huge deal for them. But I feel like they can manufacture points in weird ways. They don't necessarily win, but lose by 3, that's definitely on the table. I'll take Indy.
Texans bounce back. Texans are the better football team. Short week at home. Give me them.
Coin likes Houston as well. Does that discourage you at all?
I thought you were talking to the guy who battles the
I
coin.
was talking to him. He just didn't answer.
I really like Indy, sort of like you. I think they match up really well in a lot of games when you break them down positionally. Now, they're always, not always, but there are a lot of games where there are some, they're not going to win the quarterback battle here. But I think they're such a fundamentally sound team. I'm happy to take 4. And if Hilton plays, real money.
Oh, yeah. If Hilton plays, this is huge.
Real money, I'll bet on this one.
The biggest thing that I would bet from this game, especially with Mack going to be out, and we don't know if this Jonathan Williams, Jordan Wilkins situation, that's more of a fantasy question. But with Houston being a favorite, Houston gives up the most targets per game to running backs. And Naheem Hines, if they're trailing in this game, is going to be playing like 45-50% of the snaps. I can see him not as big of a game as Eckler had on Monday night in terms of his usage in the passing game, but I doubt that his prop is going to be 4.5. It's probably like 3.5, 2.5, something like that. That could be a very soft market in the props. And if Naheem Hines is like 2.5 or 3.5, over receptions on that one because he's going to be utilized in this game. Unless Indy just jumps out to a big lead, which I don't see. Sunday slate. Carolina at New Orleans. New Orleans bounces back in a big way at Tampa. Carolina gets rooked. I was so shaken. I had Carolina as my super lock last week on the show. By the time Sunday got around, I was too rattled to bet them, Geoff. It had dropped 2 points towards Atlanta. All the sharp money was on Atlanta. I just decided, screw this. I'll bet the Broncos instead. I'll bet the Bengals instead. Just grab all those points.
It wasn't a good week for those sharp lines, was it?
It was really good. The two of the 3 big ones paid off. Cincinnati and Denver and
by far biggest didn't.
Well, that game was actually the least bet on.
But in terms of where the reverse line movement nonsense,
he's talking about the Jets. Yeah.
So
There's 3 games.
What about the line movement in the Bills that went to 7 in some spots? And we did a 5 here. You know how big that has to be to go to 7?
Yeah, but in terms of the reverse line movement last week, it was Cincinnati. It was Cincinnati, Denver. Denver was the biggest one, actually, because everyone bet Minnesota. And then the Jets. So 2 or 3 won. That's good. 66%.
I lost a lot of money on 1 o'clock last week, and I came in with a hammer fist on the Bengals. So everyone was watching the games of the week. I was sweating just through that whole game.
So Carolina, New Orleans, 9.5 at the Superdome. 47 is the over-under. 9.5 seems like a lot of points is the problem.
It's way too many points. We'll take the Panthers. Panthers are a good team. They're not a great team. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to win half or slightly more than half their games. The last time New Orleans was at the Dome at home, Atlanta ripped them apart. So you're going to tell me that they should be laying 9.5 into the Panthers, who, were a goal line stand away from tying the Green Bay and taking them to overtime? Have won some big games. Now, give me Carolina.
I'm with Tim. I'm going to take Carolina in the points as well. Coin likes New Orleans. I can see New Orleans covering this number. I still do think that New Orleans is potentially the best team in the league, but the best team in the NFC. I just not having Marshawn Lattimore is destructive to their defense. And it didn't make that big of a difference last week. They were able to kind of persevere through that, but he got hurt in the Atlanta game. As long as they get him healthy, their pass defense seems a lot better. The pass rush is still good. They're good on both sides of the offense and defensive line. That just goes a long way. Carolina has a sieve run defense, so expect a lot of Kamara, a lot of Latavius Murray, but that also runs down the clock as well. It's not going to be a lot of huge plays. At least I don't anticipate that's going to be the case. And I think McCaffrey's good enough to continue to put up 150 plus yards. Maybe he gets in the end zone this week and they cover this number. Like, that's the script that I see happening here.
Yeah, you'll 100%. I'm going to take Carolina. I think the game can be close, but they'll certainly be in the red zone with a chance to backdoor this thing with like 3 minutes left.
Yeah,
in the game.
Is Kyle Allen really going to throw 4 picks again? Maybe.
The Kyle Allen question, you know,
Cam started looking pretty good last week around halftime of that game.
yeah, it's there's a couple of situations. You know, it's easy to quickly fall in. It's expectation based. Kyle Allen, the Minshew, they start here and like, but you know, because you expected so little, being here is like here.
Yeah.
You know, when like if a guy's drafted first overall, like Kyler's quietly been like playing really well, but he wasn't.
Kyler makes throws because they're on bye, so we can talk about Kyler for a second. He makes 4 or 5 throws a week that are just like, oh my god, like these are amazing.
Yeah,
like,
Josh Allen, if the guys could actually catch them.
Well, they're not fast enough. It's not his problem. He overthrows everyone by 20 yards.
No.
If he had Tyreek Hill, he'd be the best player in football.
So I wonder if Kyle Allen is sort of, you know, there's just like 2 months of tape on the guy that teams are sort of really can bear down on him. But how did they respond after they got that crunking in San Fran? I thought they came. Am I recall they won the next week or they came back?
Was that
really
the
well?
Green Bay game the next week, or were they at home the next week? I can't remember.
I remember they had a good bounce back. So just based on getting their ass kicked, like trunked earlier in the year and responding, I hope. But I think it's too many points. I think McCaffrey gives you just the back door. They'll march down the field with 3 minutes left.
Tim,
hopefully Kyle Allen doesn't throw the pick.
If this game wasn't week 12, it was week 11, as both teams sat last week. What do you think this line is? Like 5.5?
No, 6? No. At least a touchdown. And probably 7. And I would have taken the Panthers at 7. So I'm happy to take them at 9 and a hook.
I don't know about that. New Orleans coming off a loss to Atlanta, and Carolina coming off. I mean, if Curtis Samuel doesn't block the camera, but it's a game against Green Bay that they could have won.
Okay, but they lost and didn't cover, so I don't think the line would have been that big. And a lot of people said, big bounce back spot for New Orleans after a bad loss, sort of thing.
All right. Denver and Buffalo is up next.
This bullshit.
Buffalo -4 at home, 37 is the over-under. What?
Geoff.
You said the lines, right? I don't want to interrupt.
No, I just said them. Yeah.
Okay. I cannot believe I'm not getting more. I want to hammer Denver, and I thought I'd be getting like at least crossing 6.
Do as I do and tease them up as they're the first end of a money line
Yeah, I don't mind it.
How many points?
We're going to tease the Broncos up 6 points, 2 plus 10. And we're going to pick the plus 10, and we're going to pick the Broncos to win the game. Against the number here, 2 plus 4. And I think the Broncos are very live to win the game.
Hopefully they don't have a big letdown after the horrible loss, but everything says you got to, again, that's why I thought maybe the spread would be higher. So the people are on to what the Bills are doing at home. The Dolphin game at home, a Redskin game at home, a Bengal game at home.
Patriots game at home. They covered that one.
That was I'm not going to put that one there, though. I don't know. Again, you've been humping. It's fun. It's great to see them winning. I love when I turn to 550 on the AM dial, which is very rare to be on that. They're happy. It's great. They're not as good as their record.
They're a bad team that's winning
Bills,
games.
Yeah, I'm happy for them, and it's great. And if someone's got to make the playoffs better than a bunch of whatever teams, I don't know. I got a soft spot for the Bills, so I'm happy for them. I think they could get got here, but I think they're really lucky that Denver, that was a real tough pill to swallow there. But I think they got the right coach in Denver. I think this guy, a little bit of
Fangio?
I think year 2, a year under his belt, I think he could end up being a guy that we're still talking about there in 5 years.
With a couple of bounces, it could easily be the Broncos that are 7-3 and the Bills that are 3-7. These two teams are far closer than it appears.
Yeah, the Jags, the Bears last week. There have been 3 games on the literally on the nose for
Well,
Denver.
the one thing that you are underrating in all of this is Josh Allen's ability to ratchet it up in the fourth quarter and becoming one of the best fourth quarter quarterbacks in all of football.
I don't know is that a thing?
I think so. I think he has 5 comeback wins in the fourth quarter. He's great.
Yeah, but one of them was when the other team's quarterback was sick. So I'm not writing that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a fine line in this.
So you taking
league.
Denver or Buffalo?
I'm gonna take Denver.
I have a feeling, and I haven't looked at any advanced numbers on this. I get the feeling that everyone's going to try to smash Denver here. I think the Bills cover this.
See, that's
number.
what I'm worried about.
I think this line goes down.
Oh, it's already It's. I don't know how it gets lower.
Because if you think about how this game goes, a lot of running on both sides. Denver's pass defense is very good. The Bills' pass defense is very good. Both run defenses sort of underwhelming. Both teams actively want to run the ball.
Oh, God, this stuff is wild.
You had another drink of Diet Pepsi, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Well, at least you're going through with continuing this. So, Paul, I'm going to throw this to you. What do you make of this game? You're the resident Bills expert here.
I like the Bills. I think 4 is a little bit much. I could see it being a field goal game.
It feels like they're gifting us an extra point here with the Broncos.
No, I feel like the other side. I feel like I should have been getting more, but you're
I want
telling
more,
me
but I
I'm
think
wrong,
these are-
and I
are
can't
close
bet
to
it. I can't bet it because I think the Bills aren't the Bills due for like an awesome home.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like they haven't played the really good home game yet. Even when they're bad, they play the really good home game.
Even bad teams like Buffalo that have, historically a bit of a home field advantage, even when they have their 3-4 win seasons, it usually includes one showcase home game.
Like the Dolphins over the Jets this year.
Sure.
For the Dolphins.
Yeah, no, I'm not. That's very well said. Or even I remember even in those 4-win Charger teams, there would be a couple games where scored like 40 burgers at home and like just train a team or two.
Yeah, like the Jets got theirs this year against Dallas.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, the Bills have been winning a lot, but I don't know. I still feel I do agree they do owe the home fans a burner. But
just limit Josh Allen turnovers in this game. He's been better recently. But just every time he drops back, it's like, oh God, please don't fumble.
This could be a game I started pretty confident on Denver, but you do make a case like come Sunday, I might actually like be on Buffalo.
Yeah, and I think you'll get a better number than 4. You'll probably get 3.5 or 3.
I
doubt 3.
You are right in the sense that Denver hasn't won. Oh, sorry. The market is sort of catching up to Denver.
Yeah, we all like Tim. Did you take Denver last week? I can't remember.
They're on bye.
No, I took the Vikings with great reservation.
Yeah, we both like Denver.
Oh, I like.
Yeah. Just like they're better than they shouldn't be 10.5.
But I also thought it could be like just like but my reareasoning was not they were gonna like get up. I thought it'd be more like that Washington Minnesota.
Yeah, where
game.
it's just kind of close.
Yeah,
but I was surprised about the big thing is, and they were able to move the ball so effectively through the air last week against Minnesota because spoiler alert, Minnesota's pass defense sucks. And it sucked for like 6 weeks now. But it's almost like the inverse of what's happened with Baltimore, where Minnesota's pass D was good like the first 4 weeks of the season. Then it's got really bad. Baltimore's D, shockingly, since getting Marcus Peters, I'm not one to say that Marcus Peters is good, but he has been really good. And just getting their entire defense, I think the Ravens defense is good all of a sudden. And it was bad for the first 5 weeks of the year. The Bills' run D is bad. The pass defense is good. This is the battle of the Allens too. Josh Allen can't give up the title yet. Kyle Allen may have lost it last week, but Josh Allen, in this 3-way match, he's still the champ.
What you are kind of alluding to is in a nugget.
I am not a nugget.
No pun intended. Denver. In a nugget, Denver. They killed people with their win over Cleveland before the bye. No, like even though the spread wasn't that big, so it was like not that big.
People love the Browns.
People just thought like Denver's packing in this Allen. Like this is a game where the Browns can sort of start to get their momentum. People got killed on that game. Denver goes on bye. That's kind of like you just watch so much football, even in a week. It's kind of like a forgotten thing. And then they're getting the 10.5. And now people are kind of puzzling together as you are, as like how consistent and competent Denver's going to be. And now it seems like the people want to be with them. And you're saying this is where they're getting got.
Little bit. I don't think the Bills win by like 20 points or anything, but just win by like a 10 points, something like that. And I was very unimpressed with the old clock management from Denver at the end of that game. That was pathetic.
I pumped Fangio's tires. I'm sort of.
He's a defense guy, though. That's really on both the quarterback and the offense. I mean, it all comes down on him because he's the head coach. But the OC and the quarterback need to figure the fuck out.
But that is something that I am banking on him being just a lot better at in year 2 as a head coach.
Maybe
I think I like it. It can't not. But
I think McDermott's doing a really good job
forever too.
Listen, I think that McDermott's doing a really good job with Buffalo. he's piecing together, and like organizationally, they did a very good thing, as we talked about in the preseason, about getting Josh Allen the right type of receivers who aren't great by any means. Like John Brown and Cole Beasley aren't winning you games, but they're good for what Josh Allen does. Brown can get downfield when Josh Allen starts rolling out. Then you have Cole Beasley to work as a safety blanket on these shorter passes. And Dawson Knox has been all right. And like, they do need to shore up the run defense. The pass defense is pretty good. Like, I think it's just going to be a low scoring game. And I think Buffalo can get to this defense because they have like one or two just weird plays. Maybe this is the week that the Josh Allen deep pass works out.
Put it this way. In a microcosm, there's two teams with opposite records in that division. One of them signed 2 premium free agents in Mosley and Bell, and the other signed like 12 guys to say, we just need to be a bit better everywhere.
And they kept a coach and didn't hire a moron. That helps. And they have a better quarterback. That also goes a long way. Detroit at Washington. Coin is taking the Bills as well. Detroit at Washington. Washington plus 3.5 at home. 42.5 is the over-under. Credit to Tim for really nailing that Jets game. The Skins didn't get shut out, but they were pretty abysmal.
I'm mad at myself because the only reason, like I've kind of been pro Jets even through a lot of the ugliness, and the only reason I like in the moment had to go to Washington is because Tim gets up there and says shut out,
and we saw all the reverse line,
and then it forced me to bet it
with
him just to put it in his face because we already had the one bet. So yeah, here we are.
This line is reflective that Vegas doesn't think Jeff Driscoll is good. However, I happen to think Jeff Driscoll is good, so I'm going to take Detroit on the road.
I mean, Jeff Driscoll is certainly not good.
Who's better, Jeff Driscoll or Sam Darnold? It's clearly Jeff Driscoll.
Someone asked me last night if I would trade Driscoll for Rivers right now.
Driscoll's not bad, man.
I was like, no, but no.
Driscoll has been learning from a legit star quarterback the last several weeks, so that helps.
Yeah, have you heard this take from Tim? How like the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl next year? I don't know where this take comes from, but they have a quarterback with a broken back.
Where's this take? Yeah, what's about this?
After
take?
He trashed Lions fans too, called them lesser than.
I think this team has a lot of skill, and next year will be even better. And Stafford's a great quarterback. Driscoll's okay. Haskins is a disaster.
Do you know
the Redskins cannot protect him? You cannot take the 3.5 with Washington. It's still not enough points. That needs to be 5.5, 6 before you can imagine taking Washington, maybe even a full 7. We're taking the Lions.
It does worry me that I don't know who in the world would ever bet Washington in this game.
It's too low.
I agree it's too low. So I'm going to pick Detroit, but I don't know if I can bet Detroit. This game just stinks as a trap. Doesn't it?
Yeah, but Detroit. There's one side for a pick'em show to say this. Washington scores like 9 points a game.
Yeah, they scored like 20 last week.
They cannot score, and it's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse?
Yeah, like I don't see any progression coming.
See, this all leads me to believe Washington's going to win now.
You said this last week, and they got their doors blown off by a competent team.
I mean, the Jets aren't really competent.
The Jets are actually really good. But anyway.
Oh, the Jets are actually really good. Did you just say that?
I'm sorry. Is there an echo? Of course I did.
Yeah, there is a bit of an echo. But yeah, have you taken your pills today? What's wrong with you?
By this time,
are you mental?
Are you clinching a playoff spot by November 19, 2020?
He might predict on this show. Let's get to the game. Oakland at the Jets. Jets are getting +3 at home. 45.5 is the over-under. Tim said on the show last week they would lose to the Oakland Raiders in this game. He also said that in the preseason. And what did I tell you, Geoff, before the season started? That he would flip-flop on this by the time it came around. Who wins this game, Tim?
The Jets most certainly win this game. Oakland travel. So, I mean, listen, there have been few people out there as big a booster of the Raiders this season than I am. I've been very supportive of the Raiders. I think they're doing a really good job. I think Gruden is a candidate for Coach of the Year. I think he's done a great job with this team. The Raiders are probably going to make the playoffs. But this is a tough spot for them to have to travel across the country to play an early game. That's never easy. So it's a tough road game. Last week at home against a Bengals team which isn't trying to do anything, that was a grapple and hook type of game to beat them by 7. The week previous, the Chargers were trying to give that game away to the Raiders, and the Raiders refused to take it with a big score and barely got that win, in my opinion. And then the week before, I mean, listen, they went against Stafford. Stafford's great. That was a back-and-forth battle with the Lions. But the Raiders, again, only prevailed by a touchdown. And that game could have gone either way. The Raiders have won 3 straight games, but they haven't been super impressive, even though they've won the games. And it's good for them to get those numbers up. They're a better team with their record than Buffalo is, for example, with their wins. Now, you got them going across the country. It's a team that's on a bit of a heater. They've won 2 big games in a row now. They beat the Giants, an arch city rival. Then they get absolutely no respect going into Washington, and they just blow their doors off as an underdog. Sam is playing great. This team is starting to click. The offense, you can tell, is sort of now starting to move through the gears. They're not stuck the way they were. So this team is starting to pick up some momentum, is starting to play some good football. And they're now home dogs against the Raiders. I think the world is going to be on the Raiders. That people don't really believe in the Jets, but like Sam was surgical against Washington. He made the passes outside of one bad pick, and that happens. He's still young. He's still 22.
He makes horrendous passes. That happens.
He
He's great, though. Low energy Sam sucks. They're going to lose this game. Oakland -3. People are underrating the Jets, Geoff, because they beat 2 of the 4 worst teams in football.
I really like the Jets this week. They could be my super
It's the
lock.
only way to play this game.
They could be my super lock. I think they're fantastic.
The Jets?
You think
the
fantastic
Jets have
spot.
yet to beat a team outside of the
a fantastic
They
spot.
haven't beat a team outside of the NFC East yet.
Fantastic spot game for the Jets. This Raiders momentum has to end. Everyone is kind of them being 3-point road favorites. The Chargers handed them a fucking football game. Andy Dalton playing last week. The Bengals win the game. I said I watched. I
they're trying to lose, though.
Watched the whole freaking game. And all the respect to the Raiders. If Tim had the actual courage like he did with Tampa, it would have been on the Raiders in the offseason. He deserves credit for calling what he did there. I've been snickering all morning when I saw this was the matchup because I do remember the offseason conversations when you begged and pleaded him when he was making his win total. Like, we have to make this a win. Like, we know where we're going. Like,
I know how the season goes.
It wasn't like you were a psych. You just like knew exactly how this plays out here. Now that the Jets, Tim will say they need it. They're about as alive as the Chargers, which is dead. He could tell me I'm wrong, but
The Chargers are actually in a better spot than the Jets are.
Well, I know we're dead, so I feel bad for this guy and his constant flip-flopping of alive and dead. Great spot for the Jets. I feel really bad that Tim's words, as they can sometimes, swayed me off them last week. Something that we're seeing with Atlanta, who we haven't spoke about yet, and the Jets, so I'll mention this first, is the 2 organizations that kind of got a bit of a boost from ownership. Those teams are playing well in the window, which you could argue is the worst thing for them.
There's also a bit of a difference. Atlanta seems like they figured out their defense and went and beat 2 really good teams. The Jets beat literal trash.
Okay, fine. But my point being is when the players don't think the coaches, when the players know they're stuck with the coach, they're like, shit, we can't, I thought this loser was going to be gone. You mean he's going to be back? I got to put something on tape to keep my job. And that's what I think happened in New York, kind of, as much as they're playing the 2 bad teams. But I like a lot of the talent there, and the Raiders coming to cold. It's getting cold. Hopefully it's going to be cold this weekend. It's been cold
Sam
here.
the Surgeon is going to rip them apart.
I don't think that name is catching on. People like safe
that
space
being
Sam.
said,
People like low energy Sam. Those are the 2.
As much as I hate the Raiders, I'm really a fan of what they're about, and I would love for them to somehow win this division and keep the Chiefs out of the playoffs. The Chiefs have been the luckiest team in the league.
If the Chiefs don't win the division, they'll be the 6th seed.
Sure, they should have. There's so many games on that schedule they should have fucking lost, and they suck, and they are going to get gone.
Loss really hurt them. The Titans
they're gonna the Chiefs. They're just not built to win when it matters, despite some high level talent.
I highly disagree.
No.
I think the Chiefs are a team that's going to get themselves right and healthy by the end of the year, and then they're going to be wildly undervalued going into the playoffs.
I don't think so.
Buddy,
I'm writing them off.
You have no concept. They will. Stop. Let me say.
How about this?
They will never be undervalued.
They have the best quarterback.
That's my point.
But you don't
Not
think
when they play Baltimore, they don't.
You don't. No. My point is they're always overvalued.
They're not always overvalued.
Yes, always.
They weren't even overvalued on Monday night when they beat the Chargers by 7.
Always overvalued. The people will always come to them. Always come to them because of QB1.
You're really just living your truth with this one.
Dead wrong. You find me the last time the public wasn't on the. You find me the last game
2 weeks ago in Minnesota, and they beat them with Matt Moore. The
Find
public loved Minnesota that
Stop
week.
for a second. Now you're bringing a Matt Moore game. I'm talking about a Patrick Mahomes-led Chiefs team will never be on not the public side, ever.
Kansas City at Baltimore, let's say, in the playoffs. What's the line of that game? Minus 4.5?
50-50 then.
Minus 4.5 for Baltimore?
You think the people are ever going to
People
turn on this Chiefs team?
Mahomes is old news.
Yeah, man.
It's all.
I don't know
I've turned
where.
on them.
Listen to him.
No, I'm
I
not
turned on
talking
them.
about him. He was always against people.
No, he loves Patrick Mahomes. He loved Patrick Mahomes. Now he loves Lamar Jackson. He's moved
No,
on. People have
listen,
moved
if
on.
any-
If
weapon
you
to
think
hand
this
beat the
Chiefs
Patriots.
team, you find me the game coming. You find me when they're going to be undervalued. I fail to believe it.
Okay.
I fail to believe it.
You're just
I bet you
sour
they'll be
that they
undervalued
ended
next
Philip Rivers'
week.
career.
If the Raiders win, they'll be undervalued next
They've
week.
been ending Philip Rivers' career. He's always sucked against them.
Paul?
Next week at Arrowhead.
I mean, they opened the Chargers versus Chiefs last week at 3.5, which was undervaluing Patrick Mahomes, and then it went up to 5 by game time.
At 6 by game time.
Or 6 in some spots.
That's my point. Once the people got involved, they're not undervalued. You're telling me that they're going to be undervalued. They're not.
Yeah, I don't think that they should be 4.5 point dogs in Baltimore. They should be like 3 point dogs.
And they shouldn't be
And I probably
three-point
think, and I
games.
probably
What
think
game is
that they win.
They
Or
should
you're just hypotheticaling
Yeah.
the playoff game.
Yeah,
They'll be 4-point dogs in Baltimore, you think?
4.5 point dogs.
3.
People love Baltimore.
No, because the week
Baltimore is
before
so good.
Baltimore, the Chiefs are going to steamroll someone in the
No,
wild
because
card
they'll end up
weekend.
playing the Bills and beating them by like 5 in a game that the Bills never had a chance to win, but it will just be close.
or they'll play the Raiders again.
They are susceptible to being in really big trouble because that run defense can keep them off the football field. There's not much. I don't think even Chiefs fans would deny about that. They
Yeah,
have a glaring weakness.
Their run defense isn't good, but like their offense has been out of sorts. Like Mahomes was hurt, and then like pieces keep following. The offensive line has been banged up. They get themselves healthy, and they can get back to boat race offense. Kansas City, their run defense doesn't matter. Their pass defense is pretty good.
But I would argue their run defense can prevent them from being able to do
No,
boat
because
racing.
they before, well, especially like last season, when you think of like peak Mahomes, they just go out and put up 14 points on the first 2 drives. That's what they do. And then you have to pass against them the entire time. You cannot run. Remember when we talked about Baltimore versus Kansas City last year? Baltimore was able to slow them down early in that game and then run. That's how they kept it close. They didn't win that game, but they can keep it close. That's how the Bills could theoretically stay within a puncher's chance of Kansas City. They can just run, hopefully generate a turnover. But if Kansas City gets back to the offense with everyone healthy, where they're just apt to score within like 6 seconds of every drive, watch out.
I don't
I think there's a better chance they don't make the playoffs than they make the AFC Championship game. With their schedule coming up, the Raiders next week, very tough. Then the Patriots, and they have no tie breaks with Indianapolis or Tennessee, or it gets really difficult for the Chiefs.
See, I haven't looked at it like him. I mean, this guy's pathing away for the Jets to get in.
Yeah,
so
of course.
He needs to scenario generate Chiefs loss.
Exactly. He's now talking up
Sorry.
Oakland, how they're going to beat Kansas City next week
hold on.
because he needs them to. So when they get into the tiebreak, that the Jets can have the tiebreak, right, Tim?
I'm not here to manufacture
That
Chiefs
would work
losses
out.
for a computer like he is. I'm just saying they have undeniable problems for a Super Bowl contender.
I agree. And the Jets
That's my
were
take.
Yeah,
They're
do you know
they're
what
a fabulous
Do you know what
they have
their biggest
fabulous
problem
front-end
is?
talent.
Health. Health is their big problem,
Okay.
and they have time to get healthy.
They have
Tease the
fabulous
Jets up to +9.
front end talent.
Are you teasing the Jets up to +9?
Yeah, we're not losing this, and we're definitely not being blown up by the Raiders. Ain't happening.
I would
The
argue,
Raiders have not blown anyone out yet this year, so
Not in Gotham City.
See,
Not
I would argue there's 2 key numbers you're leaving on the table here because I believe 11 is a key number now. We see so many 11s. I would argue this should be a 7-pointer because you get 11 in Denver, you get 10 with the Jets, and you're allowed to stop your teasers. You don't have to make them 7 games either.
No, but I got to start getting back to 500 here, so I got to get at least.
But you're getting 2 in the bag next week, remember?
That's true.
you're digging up at this point.
Well, sometimes you got to press.
So you 2 in the coin are taking the Jets +3. I'm taking Oakland -3.
This could be super
I
locked.
did enjoy that Oakland was running wishbone offense last week. At some points.
Loved a couple of it.
Yeah, they're
They
smart.
like to keep the clock moving too.
They do.
I like that was
Well, you
key.
take the ball out of Carr's hands because he's not great.
Not bad.
Yeah,
though.
he didn't do much. He didn't.
He's a very mediocre quarterback. Like if Ryan Tannehill was the quarterback of the Raiders, nothing would be different.
Well, Tannehill's less disciplined.
How many stops, man?
The one thing that the Raiders can potentially have an advantage of this game, one, their run defense is actually quite good. Not that Bell's any good, as Tim has previously said. So I agree with you on that, Tim. They did lose their right tackle this week as well. And the Raiders, all of a sudden, and Tim, credit to you, because you did have the over in that Bengals and Raiders game in terms of total sacks. The Raiders have started to get to the quarterback a little bit.
And Jamal Adams, once again, proving he's by far the best safety in the NFL, without question. Now, another game with multiple sacks. The guy is the best player that we don't talk about. I'll take him one-on-one against any defensive back in football and I'll win. That's how good he is. He is a superstar at a position where there are very few superstars with the history of the league. I'm really excited about what he can do to Oakland. And Carr's a guy who likes to get the ball off quickly, but the Jets are just going to wreak havoc.
You like hearing this, Geoff?
No, I just can't believe I didn't get to play a single fucking game with Derwin.
I'd rather have Derwin James as well.
No, Jamal Adams is amazing. He might even be better, but Derwin can do the same things that would have changed a couple of these things.
So Jamal Adams is so good, the Jets have the worst pass defense in the league. That's great. That's great.
Their corners are awful.
Sweet contribution to the team. Sounds like they're really maximizing his talent.
No, he's amazing, and God forbid they traded him. I don't know whether that
I
was
would've
fake
lost my
or
mind.
real, but yeah,
mind.
you don't draft guys to watch.
You would not have lost your mind. He would have been traded. Then you would have said he sucked the entire
You
time.
would have sold the draft capital as an excellent
No, I wouldn't
thing
have.
for
I'd
the
have been
Jets
very
to have.
upset. I'd have been upset.
That doesn't sound like you and what we know about you. So you've been running the playoff machine on ESPN over the past week because, you're at work, you don't do much. So you just have time to do that, I assume. So how often do you get the Jets into the playoffs?
Occasionally.
What is the
By
biggest?
occasionally, do you mean 75% of the time?
No.
Tim, what is the biggest two games that are between now and week 17 that the Jets aren't involved in that are the biggest obstacles for the Jets to make the playoffs? Because I'm sure you know them.
So Buffalo and Pittsburgh in a few weeks. It's very important that the Steelers win that game and that the Bills don't.
So you have Buffalo missing the playoffs and the Jets in the playoffs.
No, I have the Jets and Bills both at 8-7 in that last game of the season, with the Jets being able to beat the Bills in that game. We need to be in a spot where it can be both teams can be 8-7 because we still need a little bit of help.
Record.
Who?
The Jets right now. Again.
3-7.
Where are you
So
getting
next five.
ahead of the Titans? Just as an example, who are 5-5 and I don't think are very
Or
good.
the Colts
but,
who are 6-4?
Yeah, where are you jumping these teams? Or the Raiders and the Chiefs?
Well, the Raiders have tough games. I have the Raiders losing to the Chargers. I have the Raiders losing to the Jets. Okay, well, that's already 5 or 6 losses. So it's tough, admittedly. And we also have Baltimore in a couple of weeks on a Thursday, which is tough. But I have us winning.
Where?
You
Where's
have
that game?
It's in Baltimore.
Oh,
But you have them winning anyway?
Because that's the classic game where the world's like, oh, Baltimore can't be beat. Baltimore's the best team in the NFL. They're unstoppable. The whole world is on Baltimore, and people don't like the Jets. And the Jets shake up the world on a December and Thursday.
And then
I'm feeling good about that.
Surgeon Sam shows up and just dices up the competition.
He goes to Johns Hopkins
Operation
in Baltimore.
Sam.
That's why he's there, Tim, because he's the surgeon.
have you scenario generated a tie for any games in which you just need the result to be pro Jets?
No, I haven't.
It's a fair question.
I don't know what I'm rooting for more because I would like the Jets just to lose every game by 50 points. I would
Shut
find
up.
that very
you
funny.
think, but you can't.
No, I kind of want them to go on a little bit of a run here, even maybe.
So
beat
you want to
Baltimore.
take them to week 16?
I want to take him to week 17 and have the Bills beat him. After he wouldn't make that bet in the preseason he claimed the Jets were going to win 5 more games than the Bills, but wouldn't bet us that the Bills would have more wins than the Jets.
Do you know what's funny? The team that he actually went to the wall with that he owes us money for is Tampa.
Tampa, yeah.
But all the other he wouldn't go to the wall with.
I make bad decisions. What do you want me to say?
I think if the Jets and Chargers merged, we'd have a great roster.
You still wouldn't have a quarterback.
Yeah, we would.
No.
Yeah, we would.
You wouldn't.
I'd
We
be
would.
set.
You'd have old man Phillip and fat man Sam.
I would love it.
Although if you could give Phillip Rivers some energy to low energy Sam, then maybe
Sam
you
is
got
great,
some-
and he's showing that he's great. Stop being mean to Sam. He's really good.
He didn't even play particularly well in those games.
He played fantastically on Sunday. His passer rating was like 112 or something. He had 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. He played great.
So can we just get your take? What about Gase being brought back?
Awful. I don't think he deserves it. I think that's just a.
But when you guys go on this run that you're calling for, you're going to be telling us how great of a move it
Mastermind.
was in the winter.
I'll be pleased that it wasn't a complete disaster, but I don't think he's the man for the job. But not every ship has the captain it needs.
See, it's the Charles Johnson's first decision, right? Was Gase like that was his first like actual job since the other brother
the GM didn't
Are you
hire
sure?
him.
I thought his first thing was to settle that asbestos lawsuit.
Yes, that is the family. But because the other brother went to be an ambassador, so one brother now runs the team, and his first like actual piece of responsibility was a coach, and he's probably too stubborn to admit he was
Is
wrong.
it former Rockies catcher Charles Johnson?
I like that guy.
Yeah, you don't see a lot
And
of
Marlins.
you don't see a lot of black catchers.
Come to think of it, is there another?
I'm trying to rack my brain, and like I didn't really stick
Russell
out.
Martin.
Oh,
Is Russell Martin black?
yeah, he's part.
I thought he was
Father-
like I thought he was like you see a lot of like Dominican catchers, Venezuelan catchers, like even like the big burly like old school white catcher you don't see a lot of. Russell Martin's like half.
No, there's a lot of big burly white catchers.
I feel like they're all DHs now. Like even like the Gaddis.
But you're right, they are all like seem to be like like whatever Molina or the one in Kansas City.
Maybe I mean not that I pay a ton of attention to baseball.
No, you got
I just
the
don't.
one in
I just don't
Philly
remember
who's like
historically
a
a ton of.
house.
It's sort of like black punters. You don't see a lot of black punters. You don't see a lot of black catchers in baseball. I don't know why.
I'm just trying to think of any other black catcher.
I'm sure there are tons, and we're just not remembering.
Obviously, there are.
It's something for the viewers out there.
Someone's yelling at us.
Just give us a list.
You idiots!
Yeah. So round of Jets for you guys. Oakland for me. Next game, Miami and Cleveland. Cleveland has a better chance of making the playoffs than
Of course they do.
Jets do.
Of course they do. They have a tiebreak on the Jets, and they have one more win.
Yeah, but you told me when you were running the playoff generator that you had the Jets in way more times than Cleveland, who you didn't have in once.
Yeah, I think this Browns team is trash.
Miami is a 10.5 point underdog on the road, 44. It's a lot of points.
It's
Not
too many.
enough.
Give us the Dolphins. It's just too many. You cannot lay 10.5 with the Browns right now against. anybody.
Watch me. Do you know what this is? Odell Beckham 200-yard game.
Yeah, this
This
is
is the game.
This is a Browns feast. This is Miami is about to go on a run of getting rucked. They had a nice little month con job. They won their games. They took that whole when the national media like is calling you out every day for tanking, it puts a lot more emphasis and focus on you than like the Bengals who could just go about their business and Redskins and lose every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were put like there's a lot.
They made all those trades at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
Like it seemed
so
like
they
they really made their roster bad, where Cincinnati's just bad.
Yeah, and they had a Dalton to start the year, and AJ's hurt, so they're not sort of under the same scrutiny that like Miami obviously has come under, and it galvanized them, and it worked. But now they're just like looking to get to Christmas and be done.
What's Cleveland's
And
record?
this is gonna be a big win.
4-6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who do they have left on their schedule?
Pittsburgh.
So they have this game. They have the Bengals twice. I know.
Twice?
That. Yeah. So like they could be the team. Honest to God, and they get wrecked in the first round. But
They're gonna be what you want to happen for Tim. They're actually gonna get to week 17
And
and
lose.
lose, and then we're all gonna sort of the machine will rise again for them through next offseason.
they have been the most entertaining team all year from like a public swing perspective.
I'm
and
here
everyone,
for it.
everyone's still out on them, especially after the Myles Garrett thing. I actually think that's kind of crippling for them on
Yeah,
the
I forgot
defensive
about
side of the
that.
ball, but not in this game.
Not in this game.
It's
The
that
Bills, dude.
it's that second Pittsburgh game that's really kind of the teaser game for them. Like
Did-
if they can beat Pittsburgh again, I mean they can. There's a chance that they could go 6-0 in this division.
No.
They play Baltimore again. They've already beat them.
You're actually
And since the Ravens are going to lose to the Jets, maybe they get so sad after they lose to the Jets, they lose to the Browns.
No,
too.
I think the Bengals are going to win in Week 17 against the Browns. I don't think the Bengals are going to go undefeated.
So you
I think
think-
they'll have things locked up.
So you think that the Jets are going to beat the Ravens and the Bengals are going to beat the Browns? Those are your takes right now.
anything to get the Jets in the generator working in the same direction, baby.
Listen, we have a path. Anyway,
The Chargers do probably have a better chance. I think their schedule might be easier than
They
yours.
may. But anyway, the Browns are not a great
And
team.
that's insane. No, you're onto it. The Odell Beckham game, the way that Josh Allen was able to like feed his number one receiver in that game.
And they've been trying to feed Odell, but he's had like the worst receiver schedule of all time. Now it opens up.
And the Dolphins, again, it happened versus Buffalo. They love to send these like full house blitzes at the weirdest situations. Odell catch a 3-yard hitch, gone. Oh yeah, roster him everywhere. Trade for him. People are down on him.
Yeah, I agree.
Because people could literally have a great finish high season. Absolutely.
Cleveland for me, you and the coin. Miami for Tim.
I might, if I would consider this a super lock and another try to make a bet where me and Tim actually have to exchange money.
Oh,
potentially.
Okay.
No, it's not even on the teasers.
Yeah, he's too afraid of Baker. High energy Baker. Baker gets pumped. Where Sam is like taking his insulin because he has diabetes. It's a problem for him. He might, have to play the games with one foot eventually in his career. He's got to really get that sorted out. Paul.
Tim, why don't you just do a 7-point teaser and tease them up to 17.5 points? You don't think Baker can win by 17.5 points, do you? Sounded like you thought Miami even had a chance in this game.
No, then I'd have to add another game on. I don't want to. I've got a teaser that I like.
Okay.
You should go to your comfort zone on these teasers. The results have not been good.
No, I'm not changing.
Giants at Bears.
Ugh, let's make this quick.
Bears favored by 6.5. I think Chase Daniel starting. 40.5 is the over-under. Sterling Shepard appears as if he'll be back. No word yet on Evan Ingram. When Chase Daniel replaced Mitch Trubisky the first time, I claimed that they were better with Chase Daniel. I still hold by that. I don't know. This is tough.
Easy.
I don't think it's easy because I think Barkley can get going against this run defense. Other than that, I don't understand how they move the ball. The Giants, that is.
My point being it's easy is the Giants before the bye were again 2 times this year. The Giants were asked to lay points against Arizona and against the Jets, and they lost both times. We're back into getting our touchdown with the Giants. I could potentially even buy this up to a full touchdown if I chose to do it.
You like the Giants that much?
I don't think the Bears are that good. I think the Giants can score enough points to cover the spread.
I don't know if they can. This pass defense for the Bears is still really good.
I'm on Jeff's side. I'm not laying 6.5 with the Bears right now. The Giants
is listen, people might be hating on. I don't know what people are.
The Giants are dog shit. They're bad.
They're horrible. But
so
they're an underdog, and we're getting a touchdown.
I'll take Chicago.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny.
Fans are going to be so fired up not to have Trubisky under center. Big home field advantage.
Is that like an official thing?
He has a hip injury, so he probably can't play. He has the same injury as Tua, according to Matt Nagy. He's out for the next 3 years.
I've done the math that the most wins the Chargers can get is 9. So the worst draft pick they could possibly have would be 19. But we got to get that closer to 10, 11, 12. So then you could trade to 4 or 5.
Yeah, but they don't make trades, do they? When was the last time the Chargers traded up?
In the draft, it's rare. Trades, period, for us are pretty rare.
That would require someone paying attention.
I have no problem with my football operations.
Okay.
I think the roster, whatever, we're not talking about it.
It doesn't have a ton of depth. That's always been an issue for the Chargers. Once people start getting banged up, it's game over. Because the guys that you bring in to replace the starters are just awful.
Yeah.
So
I guess, you're right.
Chicago for me, the Giants for the rest of you. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati, 6.5. No Connor, no Juju, no Deontay Johnson, Mason Rudolph at quarterback on the road at Cincinnati, and Finley starting at quarterback for the Bengals. Probably no AJ Green, no Auden Tate as well. 6.5.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this
Pittsburgh
would be
is favored on the road.
I would take the Bengals. I'm going to wag a monetary finger at myself and take the Steelers.
I'm taking the Steelers too.
Put them on the teaser.
I just think the defense is too good.
Yeah, Steelers. Long week. This is not where the Bengals. I think after this one, the Bengals consider starting Dalton to try to win a game.
To try to
And
win a game.
we're going to be teasing the Steelers down here
Yeah, I agree with that.
to a minus half a point.
I like his teaser a lot. He'll find a way to screw it up. But
You loved his teaser.
I could make this teaser and stop right here.
That would be your teaser. Denver plus 10, Jets plus 9, Pittsburgh.
I would pay the piper
Pittsburgh
to get the
basically pick 'em?
Jets to 10, though, just because for peace of mind on that key number.
It's a real rough game. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Used to be so
Yeah.
fun.
Let's not waste time on it then.
Seattle at Philly. Here's a game. Here's a game. Was this the game that got flexed out?
Yep.
Still a pretty good game. Philly's favored by 1.5 at home. It was 2 to open the week, but I can't imagine the people were lining up to bet Philly after watching them against New England and how putrid that offense looked. 48 is the over under. Seattle coming off the bye. It looks like Lockett's going to play despite like a blood clot in his leg or something. Apparently they figured that out. They get a full complement of tight ends back. No word yet on whether or not Alshon Jeffrey or Jordan Howard are going to play for the Eagles. But I guess the main question in this game, I think, comes down to, and Geoff, we'll start with you. Was the Eagles defense good all of a sudden against the Patriots, or were the Patriots offense just really bad?
I just saw a lot of punts. As I said, I was hyper-focused. I had way too big of a bet on Bengals Raiders that every time I turned there, it just seemed like someone was pinned back and punting.
I'm taking Philly in this game, minus 1.5, by the way, but
I Seattle got a pure coincidence. But they are a great team, and they got a week 11 bye, which, in my opinion, blind perception was the greatest bye week of the season off back-to-back overtime games, a playoff contending team, a late season bye. You mentioned they're getting healthy. The wood I would have dropped fading Seattle last week if they were playing almost 26 of the 32 member clubs off back-to-back overtime games. I would have been happy to bet against them versus anybody.
yeah, if this was just a week ago, too, with the game getting flexed out, it would have been Seattle coming cross-country off 2 overtime games for a 1 o'clock start.
Would have dropped a hammer. But I don't know, Seattle off a bye. Philly's a tricky one.
I can't figure them out whatsoever.
I hate that. I don't have a clue. I'll pick Philly, but I don't like it. I guess if I was dumb enough to pick Philly versus New England, I'll just stick there and hope they win one of 2 home games versus premium teams.
They need it.
Yeah, they do.
They need a win here. So, Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, round of. I think Seattle will be the most bet underdog of the week, almost unquestionably.
I would have to agree.
And yet we're taking Philly here, and I don't like it. It's a line that smells weird. I thought the Seahawks would actually be favored in this game, and either way, taking Philly.
Another week to get Josh Gordon integrated into this offense. I
don't know.
I think he can be pretty big. They went to him in key situations in
A
that
lot.
Niners game.
A lot.
And he didn't know anything about the playbook. They're just like, you're good, we'll throw to you.
Seattle keeps getting dealt 16 and hitting and getting and not busting over and over again.
Yeah, because you're supposed to hit on 16 against the face.
I know,
Tim. That's
but
what you do.
I know, and they never bust. So it feels like sooner or later it's going to happen.
They play just so many close games that if they were to lose this by a field goal, they lose by a field goal.
I know.
Tampa at Atlanta. This is the most fun fantasy game of the week, right? Atlanta, all of a sudden, off the mat, favored by 4.5 points at home against the Bucks. 51.5 is the over-under. The only game this week that is over 48 points as a game total. So there's sneaky shootout games all over this. We've got to figure out which ones it is for DraftKings purposes, but I'll be talking about that with Davis tomorrow.
Surprises me the Monday night game isn't.
Winston is hurt, isn't he?
He's apparently, Bruce Arians said he's fine, but Bruce Arians also wears those stupid hats, so he can't be trusted.
I wish he was healthy. I'll still say Tampa. If he was fully healthy, I'd for sure be on Tampa.
Atlanta's defense through 8 weeks, 2% adjusted sack rate. They were sacking the opposing quarterback with 2% of dropbacks. Since the bye week and Dan Quinn gave up play calling duty, they now have a sack rate of 12%. So I can't figure out if the defense is legit or not. Like, they just made Drew Brees look not bad, but like not great. And they made Kyle Allen look piss poor. And people want Cam Newton back all of a sudden. Like, what are they going to do to Jameis? Or is this just one of the Jameis games where it's like, garbage time, let's go?
I trust the Falcons. I'm going to play them.
You trust the Falcons?
I've seen enough now, 2 straight weeks, to think it's not a mirage, that they played some good football. They've sort of turned a corner. We're going to lay the points and take them.
The coin agrees with you.
Are they saving
too.
Quinn's job?
They seem
They
to
may
be.
be.
I'm going to take Tampa and Jameis. Like there was a scenario in that game last week where the backdoor cover was completely on the table for Jameis and he threw it away because he threw a pick six. And then the score doesn't look like that, but he was right there. And even if they're in this game and they're losing by a bunch, I could see the backdoor cover coming into play again.
Honestly,
Down 10, they throw a deep ball to Mike Evans.
Jameis is, and I this is an insult, but understand my quarterback. You're calling my quarterback of 16 years this, not in the middle of his prime.
Yeah,
But Philip is like
Philip is the
now-
white Jameis Winston.
right at this moment. Yeah, because let's not forget 2017 and 18. He had his like lowest. The picks were gone. Got rid of them. Last year was his lowest pick rate of the year.
You taking
Part of the
Tampa?
reason I picked him to be MVP.
Shut up. They all came
Well,
back.
It's funny that he took Rivers to be MVP and his dark horse was Jameis. Now they're the same player.
No, that's why I've learned. Next year when I pick MVP, I think I'm probably going to pick someone like Stafford, and I'm going to be away from the problem.
God. Lions fans must fucking hate you. Have you heard from Lions fans about how angry they are at you?
Yes, they keep telling me, quote, they don't need my help.
Lions are turning down help. Yeah, but listen, hey, the end. And at least
Are you taking Tampa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tampa.
I'm taking Tampa too. Plus 4.5.
Oh, fuck.
I imagine people are going to steam Atlanta in this matchup. Paul.
Question for Tim, actually. I just kind
Oh.
of thought about it. He's out on Driscoll, but like, what if Driscoll just takes this job? Would you replace Sam for perennial all-star Matt Stafford?
No, I mean,
You'd rather have Sam moving forward?
Sam's a potential once in a generation QB.
Like of the Jamarcus Russell ilk?
No, whereas I think Stafford has a chance to be a Hall of Famer if he gets 1 or 2 extra good seasons towards the end of his career. I think Sam could be something very special.
So better than a Hall of Famer.
I think there could be. You know what? I don't need to say anything. Like Geoff, I'm not going to say anything.
You look very confused, Geoff.
No, I'm just a mess.
Oh,
I'm a mess. There's a newborn at home. We're moving in a couple weeks. We're trying to renovate. You think my wife gives a shit about my bullshit?
No. But has she ever?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice of her.
Yes.
My wife does not give a shit about any of my bullshit.
Yes.
Midway point, which leads us to a Cust Corner mini. We have a list from Tim. I also have some other stuff, too. Have either of you guys been watching Watchmen?
No,
It's so good. It's incredibly good.
I heard.
Do I
good and
need
bad.
backstory to watch it, or could I watch it?
You can
Because I know there wasn't a movie that sucked.
I mean, it's based on a comic.
Yeah, I know the wasn't there something
I
a
actually
few
like
years
the
ago
movie.
that they did something?
Yeah,
that
the
people-
I
movie was
didn't
fun.
particularly care for the movie.
You don't need to have a background with the show
The
to be able to
anti-Nixon
enjoy
But
it.
propaganda.
I see it's one of these shows they got like sub reading materials for the episodes.
Yeah,
if you, want
you
them.
can choose to learn as much or as little about it as you want. Like my wife doesn't do any of that stuff. She loves it.
Okay.
They
I
do
can-
explain to you what you need to know.
I would assume that.
But if you want to dig deeper, you can dig deeper.
And you love it.
I really
We're
do.
like 4
I
episodes,
turn
right?
off Sunday Night Football and watch it every Sunday. That I
Oh,
watch.
NFL sucks. Imagine watching that without a team.
I watch it.
Or a real bet.
I'll just do it for the love of the game. You see.
I do love the game, and that's part of the problem.
I have some bets here for the people. I gave these out on Twitter, and I keep continuing to hammer down as all of them by data are above 70% winners right now. One of them, this one right here, it's on the UK election. So shout out to my guys at Lean Tossup, Evan Scrimshaw, who runs a lot of this polling. I made a mint off of his numbers during the Canadian election, which was really nice. They had a lot of fantastic results in the American election during the midterms last time around. So they're projecting out seat by seat for the UK election, what I believe is either the 8th or 9th of December, Tim, which day is it?
12th.
The 12th?
December 12th.
12th of December. So there are certain sites out there that will let you bet riding by riding because most bookies are in the UK, so they take action on this stuff. So here are the 4 that I have nailed down. Labour to win Putney at plus 400. They have this projected as a 91% chance of happening, Geoff, at 4-1. Labour to win Wimbledon at 14-1, which is down from 20-1, which I
How's
have
it
it at.
serve?
What's that?
And that'll probably keep coming down. Those odds are ridiculously high.
Yeah, it turns out that the election betting market kind of soft. The other ones, Labour to win the cities of London and Westminster at 9-1.
Is that a parlay?
No, these are all just in 4-1, 14-1, 9-1, and then another big one is. Let's see here. This one is down as well. It was 15 and now it's 12. But Labour to win Finchley and Golden Greens 12-1. I stopped betting as much on football because I keep just betting on these things.
And the interesting thing is that the Labour Party, even though it's going to do well in London, is going to get thankfully destroyed in this election.
Yeah, I don't really care who wins or loses. I care if they win these 4 seats.
Fair enough. I think they're going to win 3 of those 4. But anyway.
I mean, I prefer you to say that they win none of the 4. Then they're guaranteed winners, Tim.
Now, a couple of them are traditional Tory ridings in London, but the Labour Party on a anti-Brexit swing could very well pick those up.
Yeah, so go check out Lean Toss Up. Like I'm in on my Buttigieg bets, although I don't know if they're going to win or not.
They are not.
I have some nice long odds on Mayor Pete, and those odds no longer exist.
No, but he doesn't have a chance. That's the
You
thing,
say he
right?
doesn't have. I mean, that's good news for Pete's chances. You saying he doesn't have a chance.
Once he gets out of New Hampshire,
Yeah,
and
but you know what,
Iowa,
Tim?
he
What
doesn't have a
happens when if you win Iowa, then you win New Hampshire, then you got Great Mo.
You do, but the next 2 states, Nevada and
And
South
you could hedge
Carolina.
when it comes a 2-person race too. At a pick 'em.
See, Jeff sees where this is coming from now.
If Biden and Buttigieg are the 2 people in the end, the far left are going to set their hair on fire. It's going to be because they despise Buttigieg more than they despise Biden.
Oh, do they hate heroes?
No, they don't like him. They think he's a neoliberal shill. They despise Buttigieg. He doesn't have much purchase outside of the first 2 states. I mean, listen, I've said this before today. Right now, Biden is a significant favorite. I think he's going to have it wrapped up by Super Tuesday.
Bad
The
news
numbers
for
suggest-
Biden.
What's his odds?
He's 2-1. Warren's plus 150. Biden is 2-1. Bernie's like 9-1. Like they're not giving
Warren's-
Bernie.
No, Warren's campaign is falling apart because she made a clown of herself last couple of weeks, and she did a very bad job in the last debate. And again, she has no traction outside of a couple of places. So her campaign is falling apart, unsurprisingly.
I got Buttigieg at 8-1 to win the primary, 16-1 to win the presidency.
I mean, I think 8-1 is a reasonable enough number, but
Well, that number doesn't. It's 4-1 now.
I just do not see the traction for him outside of a couple of major. Now, the key thing to remember, and which makes it very hard to figure out primaries, is that elections don't all happen on the same day. So polling in the Super Tuesday states will change violently between now and then because Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina affect them. So it's very hard to get a handle on these states as we go down the road because momentum in politics is a thing and can really throw things one way or the other. So it's very hard to predict later states rather than early ones.
True, and even with Buttigieg, if he ends up winning Iowa, it's still a caucus, and he won't get all of the seats, will he?
No, it's done proportionally, but
Yeah.
honestly, that has never mattered.
No, but like I remember last time that basically Bernie and Hillary split the amount of delegates
Yeah.
that you would get from Iowa, but Hillary technically won by like fractional points.
Yeah, but you won, and you either win or you don't win in politics. That's the way the media spins things, right? The media doesn't really care about the seat count or the delegate count because the delegate count has never mattered. And I don't think it's going to matter again, just because the history of American politics suggests so.
So lean
I could be wrong.
So
I'm wrong all the time.
I mean, basically just researching all of the data on 538 and then cross-referencing it with Lean Toss Up, the good Canadian style site. Like I said, at Lean Toss Up, give that a follow. Pretty good. You were even surprised how accurate they were in the Canadian election, weren't you?
Yeah, they did good work. I have nothing.
I had no idea there was a place offering ridings on
Were you just looking at them to bet?
on the Canadian. Yeah, but even from back then, I'm amazed that like literally, I've never seen riding betting.
To
Seen
be fair, in
states or
England, they're called constituencies. Not to be all high and mighty, but that's what they're called.
But I mean, what else would you be doing if you weren't being high and mighty? So that was Pat's
from his lounge chair by his lake cabin.
Fraser's
Man
chair.
of the people over here.
So that was the political hour. Now let's get to something that is actually important and will actually hold your interest, Jeff. I saw you dozing off there. Tim released a list of best cookies.
I'm just fighting through.
Yeah.
I
My
may have
mentions
lost
are
Tim.
blowing up over
I
there.
did lose Tim. So Tim, can you please rattle off your list of best
I
cookies,
hear him.
please?
Oatmeal raisin is by far the best cookie. I almost wanted to put a gap after it. It's both the healthiest type of cookie because it's oatmeal and raisins fruit, and it's also delicious, and so it's number one. Oatmeal chocolate chip is two because I think oatmeal is delicious, and chocolate chips is the next thing down from raisins. Then peanut butter, then molasses, then Oreo. Oreo is so good that it's in the first cut. Even though it's a factory cookie, it's in the first cut of cookies. So then Oreo, then there's a gap. Then you have shortbreads, arrowroots, the PC decadent chocolate chip cookies. They're to die for. Pirate cookies, Fudgios. Then there's a gap. Then you have ginger cookies. They got to be soft, though. Digestives, Thin Mints, jam cookies, another gap. Sugar, macadamia, Teddy Grahams, and the DFL is all non-original Oreos. And yes, that includes double stuffed, also trash, only original Oreos.
Weird.
I mean, there was something you should have considered before making this list, though.
He factoring health, and that was one of his reasons why oatmeal raisin is number
the
one.
main thing he should have done before making this list was give his fucking head a shake. This is ridiculous. Are you constipated a lot of the time? Like you have probiotic cookies on here.
They're delicious.
I don't know, man. You're weird.
I stand by every one of them.
I'm sure you do. I mean, if you ate more than these, you wouldn't be able to stand. You'd
Like,
be like one of those
you
guys that has to
think-
get cut out of the side of his house.
Now listen, for a generic store-bought chocolate chip, as we'll probably have to explain to as I joked with Pat before the show, I can't believe we're going to need to spend 20 seconds explaining the PC decadent to our American listeners, but it's just a much fancier like Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
It's still
And
just
better.
a generic store cookie.
Yeah. Also, Teddy Grahams aren't cookies; they're crackers.
I think they're cookies. They're
Well,
sweet.
they're not. They're
Sweet,
crackers.
it's a cookie.
They're crackers.
I will say cookie. I vote cookie on the Teddy Graham.
Paul, you have a
Thank you.
question.
I noticed a lot of hard cookies on this list, Tim.
Well, because there are some good cookies that are soft cookies are and again, credit to me, I've won now 2 polls in 4 days. I'm on a heater when it comes to polls. But
So you've put up 2 polls where no
What
one
are
was
those
disagreeing
polls?
with you.
I'm not saying people were agreeing or disagreeing.
No. But the whole point of you putting up the polls is that you have some sort of take that you think that everyone has, and we tell you that they don't have that take because the people agree with us. But now you've gone with 2 things that we've agreed with you on and put those polls up.
You
Of course
got
you won.
you got baby cookies ahead of chocolate chip.
I stand by that.
Do you ever
They're
might
fantastic.
And hold on. You listen. I'm gonna go where I went with the pancakes, and I've had a rough day. My dog died. I'm having moments, bad ones. But I've got to say what I asked you when you did a pancake thing once. Does anyone like love you? Because how there is not like just homemade chocolate chip cookie on this. Like, does that not count? Does that, like, I don't understand
would
what
even
you're talking
say-
about.
Put on Subway chocolate chip cookies.
Done.
In on that.
No,
It's
Subway's
so
M&M
weird.
cookies are better.
And there's a couple things I don't even know what these are. Like, what the fuck are arrow roots?
That's the baby cookie.
Those are like
it's
baby
like
cookies.
a baby cookie. It's like, there's a baby on
I mean,
the
the one that I give to my child?
Potentially.
Like, where
They're
are
delicious.
Girl Guide cookies, which are significantly better than like half of these?
maybe those
I
are the
thought
thin
about
What is
mints.
a
putting-
digestive?
It's
Thin
a
Mints are
probiotic
on there.
cookie. It's like the shit to make you regular.
No.
So that's like when
That's
Howard
why he
Stern
has-
is talking about his apple crisp Metamucil cracker?
Yes.
Tim!
No. Digestives are a type of cookie that's like a chocolate on one side and it's like graham on the other. It's a very good cookie.
Are you talking about like the Peak Farms or
Yes.
what is that?
Yes.
Yeah, they help
exactly.
you shit.
No, they're actually excellent. And there is Girl Guide
Peak
cookies.
Freens, right? Peak Freens. what's
Paul?
There are Girl Guide cookies on there. Thin Mints are there.
And I'm surprised you don't have like a loser, like a Fig Newton on here.
We has molasses cookies.
Gross.
Paul?
Molasses cookies are delicious.
Do you ever microwave your cookies to soften them?
I've never done that, but I do microwave.
Look
the 2-bite
into it.
I do microwave the 2-bite brownies before I eat those.
No, the decadent chocolate chip ones. You
That-
microwave those things. If you have a little bit of chocolate sauce, throw it in the microwave for like 20 seconds. You'll soften them right up. Amazing. You used to do it when I was like a small child. I haven't done it in forever because I'm not a
That
small
sounds
child.
delicious.
But yeah, your love of microwaves and cookies just came together.
This is as
You're welcome.
egregious
See,
as like the Halloween, like
it's a really bad list.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's horrendous. Like it's embarrassing for one thing. Like I would be ashamed to leave my house, but that's not a problem for you. So, as we found
Apparently,
out,
I have no shame.
well, that's very clear by most of the stuff that you put on the internet. Shame is just not something.
Oatmeal chocolate chip are delicious. Home, fresh made ones out of the oven, or peanut butter, soft and chewy out of the oven. Can't be beat. Won't be beat.
I would say the chocolate chip beats them. Jeff, you?
Nah.
I love chocolate chip. I mean, I love a peanut butter cookie, but
It's fine. What about a sugar cookie, man?
I have them in the middle.
What's a
Towards the
pirate
bottom.
cookie?
Yeah, what is a pirate cookie?
It's those ones again that you get them at the store. It's the oatmeal outside with the peanut butter in the middle. It's shaped like an Oreo. It's like a sandwich style cookie. You get them at
but it's like a peanut butter cookie.
How about
isn't
this?
It?
How about you just eat?
peanut butter in the middle, oatmeal on the top and bottom.
How about you start eating like your age? You know way too much about cookies, Tim.
Cookies are delicious. Everybody likes cookies.
Cookies are fine, but as you get older, so you don't have to eat your probiotic cookies, that maybe just thin out your diet a little bit here. Not pound the cookies into you.
I don't pound the cookies.
You should
into
be
me.
pounding some of these sugar cookies over the holiday and giving it a much better ranking. That's a really low ranking for it.
I think sugar cookies are very overrated. They're very filler.
But oatmeal raisin cookies are where it's at.
I love it.
How-
It's like, but again, there's a health factor too. It's a breakfast cookie, as I was saying to Paul earlier today. It's really, to me, that's a breakfast
A
cookie.
breakfast.
Hashtag breakfast cookie.
Yeah, like
Hashtag diabetes.
When's the last time you had a cookie for breakfast?
Are you like one of those like you would eat like a chocolate chip like granola bar and think it's like a balanced breakfast?
I don't know. If
I
it's a
do.
balance, but like I've had pie for breakfast before, and like I've had
Well, didn't he tell us last week what he pulled out of the chicken?
that wasn't last week. That was
Yeah, he had raw chicken or something.
it wasn't raw. It was cooked. It was just cold.
I've had pie for breakfast.
Sure. I mean,
We're-
and I know other people.
By the way, we're putting that on your tombstone next year. By the way,
my
pie for
grandmother
breakfast.
had a brownie for breakfast every day for like 2.5.
Tim, you bring up your grandmother a lot. I'm sure she's a sweet woman, but I don't think she had the best health eating standards that should be replicated in today's day and age.
Not exaggerating. 2.5 years every single day she had a brownie for breakfast.
Like a what?
But she stopped.
She would bake them.
And
No,
what-
she just get tired.
Everything's starting to make so much sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
It's all coming
I also
together.
have one question.
How old is your grandma? Like 80 something?
Yeah, late 70s.
How do you? I don't want to. If you still have grandma questions, we can stay there.
No, I was just saying, like whatever the health guide was in 1954, that's what she's going with. That's what Tim is sticking to in 2019.
How do you eat your Oreo?
I eat it whole. Don't rip it apart like a savage, just like a Kit Kat bar. Don't play with your food like a child.
Also, do you know what
You
he
take a
does?
bite out of it?
Hold on.
But-
You know what we completely glossed over in all of this?
What?
You know, don't you? That Tim dips his cookies in orange juice.
Not just
Fuck
orange
off.
juice. Sometimes I'll use carbonated water instead.
That's disgusting. Oh my god.
Oreos and Perrier.
Yeah, I do. And I'll tell you why. Because you got to soften up the cookie a little bit. And I don't like milk. I know if I liked milk, I'd use milk, but I don't care for the taste of it. So orange juice will do, but I have carbonated water around all the time. So in a pinch, carbonated water is a great substitute. And I've used it a bunch. And it actually gives it sort of a fresh taste, if you know what I mean. Like it doesn't.
No, I do not know what you mean. Can you please explain that?
Well, you don't add additional flavors to it. You sort of enhance it. It sort of brings out some of the flavors.
It brings out the
I don't know, I like
chocolate wafer and the cream filling.
Yeah, I dunk it in some, like in a glass of, like I have one of those Soda Stream machines, so I'll make, sparkling water for myself, and
Hold on.
I have it.
Why do you own a Soda Stream machine yet still pump all those Diet Cola, like buy cases of Diet Cola?
Because I'd have to have water as well.
But
Like, I
that
don't
thing,
do-
can't that make it?
Yeah, he
Make
can make it. He doesn't know how to do that. He can just make the water.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make pop; it makes water.
No, it makes
called Soda Stream.
it makes
man.
soda, Tim.
Yeah, soda water.
No,
This is unbelievable.
Yes, it does
called
make
a
soda
soda.
water. It also makes other things. You just don't know how to use it.
You can get like mixes. You could probably buy your own DC.
See, yeah, Coke has a soda stream.
You
flavor.
probably buy your own like classic cream soda. That's like the clear. Yes.
I didn't know this. I thought you could only make on the commercials. All they make is the water.
No, they don't.
Yes, they don't.
They.
I had no. I just make the water. I just drink it either from a glass or right out of the bottle.
Drink it right out of the bottle. A big glass.
Yeah, that happens.
It's called Soda Stream.
Yeah,
like,
I meant
like just
I thought it was
like it's
soda
called
water.
Pizza Delight.
No,
it's
I
in
thought
the
it meant,
name.
like,
That's
soda
where you got to
water.
go for Italian food, though. Pizza Delight.
No, I thought
Pizza
it was soda
must be
water.
Italian.
I
Oh my
misunderstood.
god. So
Can't
are
believe-
you?
I can't believe he has pie for breakfast.
I haven't in a long time, but I have on
by,
on
by a
occasion.
long time, you mean like
Like-
Wednesday?
No, like the day after Thanksgiving, like a piece of pumpkin pie that's ice cold for breakfast. That's a thing.
Ice cold pumpkin.
Hold on a second.
We're not going to Paul. Had a question. He said that and he put his hand down.
I didn't want to know the answer.
Oh no, I want to hear the question now.
I just wanted him to go back to like orange juice on the cookies. Like that's
That sounds awful.
absolutely like it's awful.
It's actually quite tasty.
Like it makes me uncomfortable. And I like
That's-
like chocolate orange. Like I like that mix. But
yeah,
like,
well, it's like an interplay of sweet and sour.
and
It's
like dipping a cookie in water is like.
I don't want to
So-
add
soda water.
acidity to my cookie.
Well, I like it, and I think you should try it. And then I think if you do, you'll be on my side.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I've tried it.
I
It was
honestly
awful.
am rattled. I don't know what the the best thing that just happened was.
The pie, the soda stream, not knowing how to use it, the dipping in the orange juice. There's a lot to
Like,
unpack.
yeah.
Oatmeal raisin is the #1 cookie. This isn't Rand McNally, Tim.
Like a lot just happened.
It's overwhelming to you.
A bit, but I need it.
It's
healthy
this
for
is
me
brightening
today.
up your day.
It is.
This is much better than our political betting discussion.
No, I'm again amazed that you can do that. I wish there's another Canadian election coming.
Would you just tell people to vote for whoever you bet on?
No. Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. There's like a greatest hits from just what just happened alone.
Oh, I did forget to tell people to leave the time codes. No one did it last week. Apparently, if I don't say it at the top of the show, despite saying continue to do it so we can make a best of, then people fucked off and then just complained that the wrong file was uploaded. And then didn't review the show. Didn't like that, Geoff.
Like
Not one bit.
I look,
Not how I wanted
hold
to
on.
wake up.
Do you not see Tim? Maybe I'm wrong, but I see Tim as a guy that would actually read, like, buy a soda stream
And read the instructions.
and literally
He
read
does.
the entire.
He does seem like a
instruction book.
Manuel reader, but I think everything's online now. So he doesn't know how to do that.
And like on the box, like look at the box and read the box, and like it probably shows the like 8 different flavors of soda that they have packets for, like the Nespressos, or
Yeah.
it's what it is for cola.
Tim once told me every time he got a new video game, he would read the manual from beginning to end before playing said game.
That is true.
That
I-
takes an amount of discipline
That is unnecessary.
that is so I could not even comprehend that.
like
the
most,
only
you
way
get so excited when you're a kid to get a video game.
yeah.
You just want to get it home, you open it up, put it in, start playing it. Not Tim.
Now, I remember being in San Diego,
San Diego.
many Christmases ago, and my grandma got me the Monday Night Raw game for Genesis, but I was in San Diego, so I didn't have my console, and I powered through that manual like all trip. Couldn't wait to get home, though,
To play it.
to play it. Oh, God. That's
Well,
really...
reading's fun too.
Reading's not that fun. That's why podcasts are big now, because people hate reading. You know what reading's for? Losers. That's what it's for.
what, you would strike me as a guy that would always like have a book.
No, I used to, but I just listen to podcasts now. It's much easier. I can listen to more podcasts. They're not as, I don't have to spend as much of my time. And I can go out and do things. Like I can't walk down the street reading a book. Although I see people in this city do it. And I intentionally walk into them with my shoulder down. Like, keep your fucking head up, pal. What's your goddamn problem? It's like people who look at their phones walking down the road. I try to walk into them and knock them over. Because they have, someone has to, like, enforce this stuff. or society will go to hell.
It's on its way.
I'm not trying to hurt them, but like they need to get bumped every now and again. Paul.
Can we ban umbrellas in city spaces?
No.
I'm an umbrella man.
Not in cities
course
where
you are.
people have to walk around.
No, umbrellas are the worst. Should be banned.
I like that's a hot take.
What do you have against umbrellas?
Why should I have to dodge my head in and out because you're too soft to have a little bit of water on you?
I think
That's
you can
my
hold
take.
it-
I have to like dodge my head in and out. Cody was here the other day, and he finally understood what I'm
got
very
some-
out on umbrellas.
There's like clowns who would walk a city street with like a
golf umbrella. Yeah, that's out. Like have like
Yeah.
real, normal city umbrellas aren't very big. Like they shouldn't be disrupting you whatsoever.
See, the thing is that I think that there's probably good people who are mindful of their umbrella, but the base idiot in society is not, and I have to dodge my head in and out because there's probably a few people spoiling it for the rest of the people.
This
But
is true. It's
the
like-
problem is that like really dumb people just barge through you, and they're like, I'm dodging my head in and out. I shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to break your umbrella if you do that to me.
Oh, if people get in your way? See, I'm for that. It's like I always wanted people to stand at the corner, like Big Daddy style with a stick, that if bikers broke the law, you jam it in their spokes as they're going by. Because there's a few bikers that ruin it for everyone. Most bikers follow the rules of the road. They stop at stoplights. They stay in the bike line. Then you got some asshole who's like weaving in and out of cars and like yelling at the traffic because he's being an asshole.
You're like banging on
Yeah.
your like back hood.
And like you should be able to run that guy over with no consequence. You got to learn him a lesson. This really got dark, from me at least. You can see what pisses Paul and I off walking through the city. You drive everywhere. Paul and I don't. And Tim never leaves his house, so this is irrelevant to him. Let's get back to the games before I get like thrown in jail or something for advocating assault on people walking around town. Jacksonville and Tennessee. Tennessee favored by 3 at home. 41.5 is the over-under. Any game ever feel like more of a push to you?
Yep, and
Well,
as
yeah.
such, I'll take the +3.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to take the +3 as well. I think that Foles might be able to throw all over Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Titans. It would be
Just give
nice
me a
if the
quick
Titans-
run. The Tennessees have gotten quite
The Tennessees?
les titans. They, it kindly feels like people want to back them. Their last memory was them beating the Chiefs, who I still believe everyone loves. I think they can get got this week, but they've had a run of the Chargers charging, Jameis Winston being Jameis Winston.
Losing to the Bills.
That was before that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had that great win versus the Chiefs.
DK, let me ask you. Do you think the Jags are a tough team?
Particularly in division, they are.
No, I
For
don't
team
mean
to lose
like are they a tough team to play? Like would you say that they are a tough team, like a grinder type team?
I
Yeah,
would hope.
Because
I
those
mean,
are the teams that beat Tennessee.
that's the type of Doug Marrone. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we always talk like when they can play like an Atlanta,
Yeah.
when they can
Atlanta,
play,
Kansas City,
Yeah,
skill,
finesse
speed,
teams.
finesse teams. They do well against them.
the Chargers do like to be a finesse
Yeah.
team. No, you're right. I'm with you. Give me the 3 here. I think Foles an extra week. I don't love it, but yeah, give me Jacksonville. As someone made a great joke when they played on Thursday, it is like the annual Thursday night football Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's like the Super Bowl of Thursday night football is Jags Titans.
Should there be a belt?
They should, like a college. Yeah, they should. Jags +3. I feel like you got many outs. Even the Tennessees win by 1 or 2, which
Yep.
seems always in play with them.
Yeah. Game of the week? It's one of these next 3.
What network has this
Well,
sucker?
it's probably one of the next 2.
It's Fox.
Dallas at New England. New England favored by 6 points at home. 46 is the over-under. We get into a conundrum now. Dallas has been playing really well. The offense, after stagnating, after going 3-0 and become really very basic, has opened itself up again. But Dallas has yet to beat anyone good. So do they just get waxed by New England? Because I think they
Yes.
might.
Yes, New England is going to win this game. Tease the Patriots down to a pick-up fourth end of this money line part. They're not losing at home to Dallas. I have no faith in them.
I kind of agree with
I
Tim.
But are we worried that Dallas can do enough on defense to limit New England's offense and maybe they win by 4? Maybe they get upset at home
No.
at Foxborough.
Not worried at all, actually. Patriots are on the short list of Superlocks this week.
I'm curious what you think here.
Patriots I think the Patriots win, and I blindly just have to faith the cover. Like, if I don't think the Cowboys are going to win, I don't want to take this 6. There's a lot of times you'll hear me say, I don't think we're going to win, but I'm going to take these points. I don't know. This will be a sharp, heavily capped game. I hope to not lose my shirt at 1:00 and feel a need to come in on this one.
I'm going to take Dallas because I think La'el Collins is going to play. If there's obviously, it's going to be the narrative that gets driven over and over and over again. But if you can run on New England. Dallas will try to run, and they have one of the best offensive lines to do so. I think the Titans would be a bad matchup for the Patriots.
Oh,
No.
the Titans can be a bad matchup for anybody.
Outside of like the Ravens in the AFC, I don't think anyone's a tough matchup for them. And in the NFC, Green Bay, San Francisco are the types of teams that could get them.
You left off the best team in the NFC, New Orleans.
Maybe, I guess, New Orleans as well.
6, although it's not a lot, seems like a lot for this team based on the two things that Dallas can do well against this Patriots defense. Like, they take Cooper out of the game, they take Cooper out of the game. You still have Gallup, you take Gallup out of the game. Cobb is coming on, and Cobb is exactly the type of receiver that does give New England a bit of problems. These slot underneath route guys that are good after the catch, they can effectively run the ball if they have a decent enough offensive line. Like you almost said, I don't think that they win, but I think that they can cover this. I think this comes down to the end.
Yeah, I'm just taking my win finds a cover.
All right, Dallas for me and the coin, New England for the two of you. Here's a take. And the game I'm thinking about locking in is my super lock. Green Bay at San Francisco. San Francisco favored by 3 points at home. 46 is the over-under. Sunday Night Football flexed in. I love Green Bay.
I like the Packers too.
Packers coming off a bye. I'm starting to think that San Francisco may have peaked. That they're not bad, but they're not as good as we saw them the first few weeks. Now people have adjusted to what they're up to. The blocking schemes are different to get Bosa off his game a little bit. Not that he's going to be shut down or anything like that. Just teams are attacking them different ways, and they're learning how. I mean, the offensive line problems were always going to crop up, and they started to the past few weeks. I just think Green Bay is a bit healthier coming off this bye. It's the first time we've seen them at full strength in like 5 or 6 weeks. I just think Rodgers is better than Garoppolo.
Do you know what I will die on the hill of as it pertains to football, with the one caveat potentially being the Patriots, but it kind of works in favor of the Patriots work in favor of what I'm about to say because they normally aren't great starters. The team, I said it a month ago, they're a great team. They're a good team. I feel bad poking a hole in San Francisco. Their Super Bowl chances are 0. And it's for one reason. They fucking peaked. When you play your best football in October, you're done. I'm sorry. The team that is going to win the championship almost in every sport does not play its best football until like December 12th. And then they'll go.
I would tend to agree with that.
And it's unfortunate. Like, if I'm a Niner fan, like, obviously I'm still into it. Like, yes, they're going to the playoffs. They obviously have a chance, a great chance. But they just peaked. They've played their best football. They have played their best football. They will not play better football at any point than they've already played, which means they cannot win the championship.
The other thing, too, is
That's
like
how I feel.
They could be out Breda, Kittle, and Emmanuel Sanders in this game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's make it a
okay.
hat trick, a full roll, Green Bay.
So, Tim, here's my question to you. Do you think that everyone's going to feel like us, or do you think people will take the Niners?
I think people will take the Packers, but to play devil's advocate, the last 3 games the Niners played were all in division. The divisional teams know each other better than non-divisional teams do. So I think you have to take that into consideration. But I'm still taking Green Bay. Kittle's going to play. Sanders is going to play. I don't think that's even too.
Packers
too
need the game more too.
Packers need the game a lot. So do the Niners, because Seattle's on their tail, and Seattle owns a game tiebreaker.
If the Packers win, aren't they tied with the Niners and would then be the 1 seed?
Well,
There's
New
a lot
Orleans,
to play for.
How many losses does Green Bay have? 1?
2.
So they have 2, and the Niners would have 2 if Green Bay beats them. Green Bay would be the 1 seed.
but the New Orleans only has 2 losses as well. Head-to-head doesn't count if the 3 teams haven't all played each other.
Well, San Francisco does need to win to stay ahead of the pack.
Oh, yeah, no. This game is just as important to the Niners as the Packers. I just think the Packers are going to get them.
Coaching worries me here. I'm not big on Le Flair. versus Shanahan. I think Shanahan's better.
Oh, Shanahan is a wizard.
But Rodgers is better than Garoppolo.
I mean, read a lot of the sharp breakdown of the 49ers and all those tight end balls they just gave to running backs. They don't lose a beat with a lot of the things they do.
Well, and you can run on the Niners as well. And the Packers have been pretty good at running the ball this year.
Yeah. All right, let's get to my super lock.
Monday night. Baltimore at the Rams. Rams +3 at home. 46.5 is the over-under. I am guessing that you think the Rams are going to win this game.
Yeah, I love the Rams. Love them in this game. This is a classic. The whole world loves the Ravens. The Rams are at home, getting 3 points as a home dog, defending NFC champs. Desperate to have the game because they're too back in the win column and can't afford to drop really any more for a while. The whole world loves the Ravens. Bang. The Rams, who have a great defense. I mean, listen, when the Ravens went up against the Browns with a good defense, the Browns found a way to prevent them from doing anything. The Rams defense is still pretty good and have some really good players. Donald is a force to be reckoned with. There's incredibly smart coaches on the Rams side of the ball that I think will have a pretty good game plan schemed up for the Ravens. So I really like the Rams in this spot. This is a classic. Take the home dog because the whole world is going to be on Baltimore. And we're going to tease the Rams up as the last part of the parlay.
Rams up to +9?
Yeah.
So I saw the line in this game, and this worries me, Geoff. Maybe I didn't take my pills today, but I tended to agree with everything he just said. But it came down to this too. So I started weighting where I think that these teams are in terms of actual talent. And we start going through everything. I think McVay is a good coach. I think Harbaugh's a better coach. I think he's proved that this year. His ability to adapt his entire team and change it over, and even try to piece it together last season, going from Flacco to Lamar. What he
the
did
Gus
was
bus, just
what can we do to make this work? We'll make it work.
and then they saw what happened in the playoff game versus teams that can come off
But
the
they
edge.
had time to
and they
implement
literally, they knew where they were flawed. And even watching them early in the year, you're like, yeah, but so when they get a matchup that can do sort of what the Chargers at their best could have did to them in the playoff game, they'll be screwed. And now they're showing so many ways. And they're showing that the kid was in the gym and had his head in the playbook. And to Tim's point, he's sort of become the most likable guy in the league.
Yep.
To your point, he's kind of passing Mahomes of where we are. I feel bad. Like, I'm an idiot. I keep I'm hyping up Baltimore on the show, but at the same time picking against them, thinking like from a spread Vegas perspective, something's got to work against them.
Well, in fairness, they're 5-4-1 against the spread.
Even though I love everything that they're doing, I don't know. I want to find a game where it falls off. I guess Tim makes up great points.
Tim makes all the logical
country.
Tim makes all the logical gambling
cross-conference,
points as it came to this game. I came
But
to
if
the same
he's the real
conclusions.
freaking deal,
That's
like
the thing.
Mahomes was last
I think
year.
Baltimore is significantly better than the Rams.
If he is like last year's Mahomes, and hopefully it continues, there's injuries and things happen and whatever. You have, rough little spells, but if he's the real deal, nothing matters. I think they could smoke show them.
This is a pure follow the money game. Where is the money going to go?
I will bet this game with exactly. It's Monday. I don't need to make a decision, but this feels like a game I'm going to bet regardless. Now, granted, Monday Night Football TV games, I find myself just betting them regardless anyway. But this is a game.
That's why I like props.
This is a game.
Something in the game.
This is and the books know they're exposed on props. They have these games capped so sharp. You can find things in props, and you do a fantastic job at finding them. But I will bet this game with the house on Monday night, whichever way the house wants to go. But for putting a name on paper, I'm going to pick the Ravens.
I'm going to pick the Ravens as well.
Force.
But
Tim, everything Tim said, I believe in fundamentally to betting a game, especially a Monday Night Football game, especially a game that is going to be Lamar. Like, this is it. This is going to be a spot.
We just talked about the Niners and how teams that win the Super Bowl don't peak in the middle of October. It feels like the Ravens are kind of peaking right now. Like, this is probably the best, this 4-week stretch they have going on is probably the best they're going to play all year. What do they look like 6 weeks from now? I don't know. Maybe they can sustain this. Maybe they keep it going. I'm just, when we go through it, Tim, when I kind of got down to it, because like I said, I agreed with your analysis of it. But when I started thinking who has the better head coach, I think Baltimore does. Who has the better quarterback? Baltimore does. Who has the better offensive line? Right now, Baltimore does. Who has the better defense? Well, lately it's been Baltimore.
Sure.
I just
no one contends that the Ravens aren't the better team, but the
He's
Rams
like,
have
yeah,
to be quite a good team too, I think.
Tim is essentially just calling an NFL spot game, and I don't argue with that at all, because it does reek of one, and you can't deny the ever-glowing popularity.
Yeah, Lamar's the MVP. The Ravens are great.
I have
They
to
just
lay
beat
3
the
points
bitch.
with this Kingmaker right now.
Yeah.
Like, people could be running, the Gen Pup could be running to make this bet.
Yeah, this screams of the Ravens somehow. Tucker wildly misses an extra point somewhere along the line, and they win by 2.
I mean, this is the type of game. Some games let you make the prop. Will there be a 2-point conversion attempted?
It feels like one of those
Yeah,
games.
for sure.
I just think the Rams are bad.
I've been saying it all year, and they've found a way. But lucky for people that lucky for people that called the Rams, as much as lucky breaks they got, the Niners in Seattle are so freaking good that it doesn't even matter.
You know how you pointed out that Mahomes is going to get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to all this stuff because he's Mahomes. People like Mahomes. They'll never be undervalued. Where I think that's wrong. I think that people just overvalue the Rams. I feel like they're always overvalued at this point. Like, outside of the circles that we talk in and engage with people who are following the course of the season.
Yeah, the Rams have done enough to maintain that
the
reputation.
public reputation.
Yeah.
That, like, they just won a primetime game. Like, people don't realize. People still think that the Bears are good.
People saw Gurley like running holes. Everything must be fine there. Yeah, no, I don't think. But people
And they are 7-3 against the spread too. Let's not forget that.
But that's a team that's going to be in trouble.
Well, Goff sucks. Like, he's bad.
Yeah, they have problems, but it's a great spot. It subscribes to all the things that I believe. So,
Yo, did you know that? Remember, I told you 2 weeks ago that Tim said play Goff over Lamar and Deshaun Watson. He said the same thing on the show this week.
yeah, well, frequently wrong, seldom in doubt.
So I'm going to go with Tim's anti-Rams take here. I'm going to take Baltimore. Let's go to the super locks of the week. Tim, you were the only one to hit your super lock last week, which means you get to pick first.
We're going to take the Los Angeles Rams +3.
Geoff, do you have any particular lean on a game here?
I am leaning to the Browns and the Jets, Tim's favorites. And honestly, the Colts have a bit of a vibe.
I was eyeing the Colts as well.
I'm going to take the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets.
I think you're 2-0 with the Jets as your super lock this year.
Jets.
Jets +3.
Yeah.
I gave a hard look to Pittsburgh against Cincinnati. I've given a hard look to Green Bay over San Francisco just to cover the 3. Indianapolis, like you mentioned, I do like. I really wish I knew what the betting breakdown was of the Detroit-Washington game. Like, how doesn't Detroit cover that number? Which is not great. I'm going to take Indy. I really like Indy. I'm going to bet that game. Am I going to bet that game? No, I'd rather bet Hines. That means I can't make it my super lock.
Just take Green Bay. You want to.
I do. I'll take Green Bay +3.
I don't mind that one either.
No, I don't hate that either.
Well, we all pick Green Bay. Coin
included.
That's never a good sign.
Tim, I'm going to be in Cali in a couple of weeks, and that Chargers-Viking game is on Sunday night. They got to move that, right?
That's getting flexed.
And I don't even want to go to the game, but now I think I might just go to say hi and bye to Phil.
No, that's definitely getting flexed.
Can you recap your free money teaser? Now 1-10 for the season.
Yes. Okay, people, listen closely. Time to win some money. Tease up the Broncos, tease up the Rams, tease up the Jets, tease down the Patriots, and tease down the Steelers.
So a 5-team 6-point teaser should pay +350?
Indeed. No, 400 +400.
Really?
Yep. 5-team 6-point 400.
Now, are you just saying that, or is that actually
I'm
what it
looking
is?
at the ticket. I'm looking at the ticket.
Geoff Fienberg, you can follow him on Twitter @GFienberg. You can follow Paul behind the camera @PaulShag. And of course, if he can ever get himself off Facebook Messenger and onto Twitter, you can follow him @TimUndercust.
Tim and Cust.
Not my name. @TimAnderson87. I bring the funny. I bring the laughs.
Thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. If you want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, what you do, you see, is you like this, you smash the like button for the episode. You leave a DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me your favorite spread or total for the week. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience. experience.